Welcome back to Prospera Place in Kelowna, home of the Rockets, home of the 2012 Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game. We'll get you right to the opening ceremonies, and PA announcer Bill Barnes.
Good evening and welcome to Prospera Place for tonight's Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome now the starting lineup for Team Cherry. Starting in goal from the Victoriaville Tigers, number 31, Brandon Whitney. On defense from the Vancouver Giants, number 4, Brett Kulak. On defense from your Kelowna Rockets, number 7, Damon Severson. At left wing from the Belleville Bulls, number 37, Danil Zarakov. From the Halifax Mooseheads, at right wing, number 9, Andrew Ryan. And from the Belleville Bulls, at center, number 16, Brendan Gauntz. The athletic therapist is Art Fraser, and the equipment manager is Chad Scarf. The associate coach for Team Cherry from the Kelowna Rockets is Ryan Huska. The head coach for Team Cherry is a WHL alumni who played for the Kamloops Blazers. He went on to star in the NHL and is one of only 10 NHL players to win a Stanley Cup with 3 different teams. He is 12th all-time in NHL scoring with 1,533 points and 4th all-time with 1,652 games played. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome BC native, Mr. Mark Recchi. And now the starting lineup for Team Orr. Starting in goal from the Calgary Hitmen, number 33, Chris Drieger. From the Edmonton Oil Kings, on defense, number 8, Griffin Reinhart. From the Portland Winterhawks, on defense, number 51, Derek Pouliot. From the Rimouski Oceanique, at left wing, number 22, Francis Bouvier. From the Seattle Thunderbirds, at right wing, number 11, Brandon Truk. And from your Kelowna Rockets, the captain of Team Orr, at center, number 15, Colton Sissons. The athletic therapist is Jeff Thorburn, and equipment manager is Gary Creed. The associate coach for Team Orr from the Vancouver Giants is Don Hay. The head coach of Team Orr won a Memorial Cup with the Edmonton Oil Kings in 1963. He went on to play over 600 NHL games before becoming an NHL head coach. With almost 600 career wins, 2 Jack Adams trophies as the NHL's Coach of the Year, and 3 gold medals while coaching Team Canada in international competition, he is one of the greatest coaches of all times. Please welcome Mr. Pat Quinn. Tonight's officials at referee Jeff Ingram and Brett Iverson. The linesmen are Ron Diateri and Cody Huseby. Prior to the start of tonight's game, please join me now in welcoming some very special guests for the ceremonial face-off. From the National Hockey League, Senior Vice President of Hockey Operations, Mr. Jim Gregory. Representing Home Hardware, the title sponsor of the Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game is a home hardware dealer and owner, Mr. Paul McCann. And from the Kelowna Rockets, President and General Manager, as well as the WHL Chairman of the Board, Mr. Bruce Hamilton. We now ask that the captains from Team Orr and Team Cherry please come to center ice for the ceremonial face-off. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you now please rise, remove your hats, and welcome from the Kelowna RCMP, Constable Troy McDonald. And from the Kelowna Fire Department, Mike Brownlee. Joining them is anthem singer Kira Baldwin.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' commands. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Hey, ta valeur de foi trempée, protégera nos foyers et nos droits. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And how about that? Take a bow, Kira Baldwin. A good-looking crowd here in Kelowna for the Home Hardware 2012 CHL NHL Top Prospects Game. We're going to head ringside now. Rob Faulds standing by with a certain captain that this building is very familiar with. Rob.
He is the captain of the Kelowna Rockets, Colton Sissons. You get to wear the C for Team Orr. Tell me what it's like to be in an event like this in the town where you play.
It's pretty crazy to have this event in our hometown with the our fans behind us. So it's pretty cool, and I'm just trying to enjoy it tonight and play my game.
What have the coaches told you they want you to do in a game like this?
They want me on the body. They don't want to change anything. Keep things simple, get pucks in deep, and get in on the forecheck and just do the best I can out here.
A lot of eyes watching you tonight. You worried?
No.
Enjoy the experience.
Thank you.
Colton Sissons is the captain of Team Orr. He's ready to go.
Well, he's cool as a cucumber, too. Undrafted, and he's got himself in a pretty good position, sitting 14th among North American skaters. RJ Broadhead and Sam Cosentino. There's the starting goaltender for Team Cherry. Brandon Whitney plays with Victoriaville, and Victoriaville, one of the top teams in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And this 17-year-old, he's 6'5". He's a big goaltender and has terrific numbers this season. 19 wins, just 3 regulation losses all season long. For Team Orr, it will be Chris Drieger, who plays with the Calgary Hitmen. Drieger has been in 29 games this season, 15-7, 2-1. He was a late add when Malcolm Subban of the Belleville Bulls went down with an injury, but Drieger deserves to be here, and he will try to improve his stock, sitting at 12th among the North American goaltenders. Well, this is one that we always look forward to. The prospects a chance to shine, and both coaches pretty smart, starting Kelowna guys on each side.
Yeah, try and get the fans into this thing early on and take advantage of their respective team members who are out there on the ice right now.
Colton Sissons, the captain of the Kelowna Rockets, wins the faceoff. Derek Pouliot plays with the Portland Winterhawks. He moves it ahead to Sissons, who gets it to center. Little chip ahead to Brandon Truk, and it's taken away from him by Brett Kulak, who plays for the Vancouver Giants. That lead pass will get by everybody and go down the ice in an early icing against Team Cherry. Keys to the game tonight brought to you by Irwin Tools. Irwin Tools invites you to celebrate National Tradesman Day on September 21st.
Well, these keys apply to both teams. First of all, Sam, I am. What does that mean? Just be yourself. That's what you have to try and be. Your own guy, the way you would play in the regular season. And home to Kelowna. How does your game translate from how you play with your club team to here in Kelowna? If you're able to do that, that bodes well for your draft status.
Little intangibles. Brendan Gauntz won a face-off, but Team Cherry having some trouble getting it out of their own zone, and Whitney had to make a tough save. Gauntz skates it into the team or end, and right back the other way is Chandler Stevenson of the Regina Pats. He's knocked down as he tried to get past Matt Dumba. Ryan Murray, one of those players you just love to watch, such a smooth skater. He's the captain of Team Cherry, wears 27. Going back to get it right now. The Everett Silvertips captain, and of course a member of Team Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
And now starting to become Captain Canada. It's been that situation in an under-18 event. He is for the Everett Silvertips, as Jeff told you off the top of the broadcast.
Couple of big hits by Tom Wilson of the Plymouth Whalers. He's 5th in OHL in penalty minutes. 122. Do we expect him to be physical? Here's Radek Faksa, throws a backhand that goes through the slot area. Faksa throws his body around a little bit, and an opportunity for Team Cherry to come out, and they do. Derek Pouliot. Lead pass to Lucas Sutter. Tanner Pearson gets it. Second in OHL scoring. Pearson picks off a loose puck, walks in front. Whitney was out of position, has to scramble, a couple of cracks at it, and Whitney has it under him. The sticks got raised, but the referee right there to wave it off.
Well, Pearson took his time coming out from the corner, and then he couldn't really get a good handle on it. But early on, how about this shot here? Deflected by Grigorenko right off the mask of Whitney, and at the other end of the ice, the always physical Plymouth Whaler Tom Wilson with a big bump on Gianluca Cucuruto of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And here's Pearson. You see how he loses control of it right there? He had Whitney down and out, but as soon as it slipped off his stick, that allowed Whitney to get back in position to cover it up.
Andreas Athanasiou of the London Knights circling behind the net, working in a phone booth there. Moved it to Tanner Pearson. Lucas Sutter of the Saskatoon Blades in front of the net, got a piece of it. And Whitney, after he lost his stick, grabs it with the blocker hand.
Good job by Whitney to stop play. Pat Quinn gets the opportunity to coach Team Orr. And you go back to the 2008 season when he took control of Canada's under-18 team. They beat Russia in the gold medal game 8-0, and then he went on to coach the 2009 World Junior Hockey Championship team. And for a long time, he hadn't had the opportunity to coach young players. The kids loved him, and it really invigorated and energized Quinn, and he's really enjoyed this experience as well.
Dominic Volek waits for it along the boards. He's another member of the Regina Pats, so he and Chandler Stevenson, the two members of the Pats, they're on opposite squads like the Kelowna Rockets teammates. Dane Fox, he walks in, and the first test on Chris Drieger is handled. Brandon Truk, he's knocked down, gets it to the line, just kept in by Brett Kulak. Matt Finn of the Guelph Storm. He'll try to circle away from trouble. Leaves it for Adam Pelech. Truk, the one-touch pass to his centerman Sissons. And Dane Fox, who is part of the Greg McKay trade from London to Erie, walks into Erie. and becomes their leading goals, assists, and points leader.
Yeah, and ends a 12-game win streak with a hat trick against Sudbury.
Speaking of leaders of their team, Thomas Heika was racing in, leads Gatineau in all 3 categories. Dalton Thrower, the Saskatoon Blades, fired one up high. That didn't get on goal. Chandler Stevenson rolls it in deep, and Matt Dumba of the Red Deer Rebels moves it over to Brett Kulak. That lead pass by Zharkov was tipped on the wrong side of the red line. Another icing against Team Cherry.
Team Cherry head coach Mark Recchi, who's part owner of the Kamloops Blazers, was showing off his knuckle duster from the Boston Bruins Stanley Cup win from last year. And you want to talk about a guy who was into it and enjoying the experience. Mark Recchi sure seems like he's had a lot of fun the last couple of days.
And you say knuckle duster is in singular. That covers a couple of knuckles, that ring.
It's a biggie.
Zharkov of Belleville, he takes a bump from Pouliot as he tried to come in. Pouliot doesn't know it's behind his goal. Zharkov chases after it, but it's Radek Faksa who gets to it. Brendan Gauntz keeps that puck in deep momentarily, but coming back the other way is Raphael Boussiere. Boussiere drops it off. Faksa can't do much with it. Goes to the corner. He's bumped by Gauntz. Faksa, his pass to Reinhardt. It goes all the way over to Pouliot. His shot, that's blocked by Andrew Ryan. Pouliot stays with it, though. The Weyburn, Saskatchewan native throws it back to his defense partner, Reinhardt. Griffin Reinhardt has that shot blocked by Zharkov. Timor putting some pressure on Team Cherry here. Faksa, the rookie leading scorer in the Ontario Hockey League of the Kitchener Rangers. And now finally Team Cherry gets it out to center.
Engaging personality is Faksa, and a long line of pretty good European players that have come out of the Kitchener Rangers, going back to Jakob Kindle, Landeskog, Tobias Reeders having a great season there right now.
Tim Bozon of the Kamloops Blazers hustles in over the line. That pass doesn't find anyone. Turning and going the other way is Tanner Pearson. That lead pass to Athanasiou, and he sensed Dumba was looking for the big hit.
He heard the footsteps, and Dumba would have laid him out for sure.
Lucas Sutter bounces one off the side of the net. Bozon, his pass, that's behind Wilson, but speeding after it, Jamel Smith, he can't come up with it. Damon Severson gets away from Athanasiou along the boards, and lead pass to Bozon. He's toward the end of a shift. Kirkarudo, he just flips one to center. Severson picks that off, tried to find Smith, and it rolls all the way down to Chris Drieger.
Yeah, I've liked the pace of this game so far. Sometimes when you get teams together and they haven't played much with each other, it takes a little while for them to get going, but it's going pretty good right now.
Martin Firk of the Halifax Mooseheads doesn't have many games under his belt, still trying to work himself back into shape, but he can be a dangerous player and a fun one to watch too.
Yeah, he and Nathan McKinnon, boy, that's a nice pairing.
Coda Gordon cuts right in front, and with that paddle low was Gregory stopped it. Mike Winther trying to get a loose puck, going after it's Firk. Firk gets it to the line, fired right back in by Murray. Winther, the Prince Albert Raiders, threw one towards the front of the net. Winther has it again. He spots Gordon and tried to move it back to Murray, and it was just out of his reach. Ryan Murray, a little bit of time to make a play, and he hits Gordon. Pouliot, he's been strong so far in this game. Lead pass to Stevenson. That didn't connect, and Thomas Heika leaves it for Stevenson. That bouncing puck goes over the stick of Pouliot, and he gets on his horse to get back. Chandler Stevenson with 7 goals as a rookie. This year he's already got 14, and his Regina Pat teammate Bullock trying to go in. Dane Fox, 10 points in 9 games as a member of the Erie Otters.
And getting all kinds of ice time.
Heika's pass, that finds Mikhail Grigorenko. Our first chance to see Grigorenko carry the puck. He goes into the corner, leaves it for Pouliot, doesn't shoot, moves it over to Reinhardt, right back to Pouliot. This time he shoots a deflection in front of the net, and that went up over the glasses. Stevenson just got a piece of it. Some furious action. Still 0-0.
familiar face behind the bench, Pat Quinn. He is the official coach for Team Orr. Tell me about being behind the bench again with these young players.
Oh, a lot of fun. I like the speed out there. Kids are moving the puck fast. They're supporting the puck well, and then we've had a real good pace early going in the game.
What was your advice to these guys just before the game? What did you want to tell them?
I wanted them to use their skills and ability, you know, not give the puck up easily, get your feet moving, drives to the net, you know, the things you talk about to the pros. You know, the game is simple. All you have to do is execute.
Thanks, Pat. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Pat Quinn, he's got the juices flowing.
And he's assisted by Don Hay this time around, Canada's World Junior Hockey Championship coach. So a nice dynamic duo there.
No question about it. And Don Hay put the boys through their paces in the morning skate.
Not fooling around. Rarely does he.
Not when it comes to a hockey game. Likes to get those wins.
He's got tons of them.
Scrambling play at center. Finn tried to move it past Zharkov. He couldn't. Then Zharkov fanned on his shot. Faksa moves it to Scott Kosmachuk of the Wellstorm. Kosmachuk shot. That hit a stick. It went wide. Ryan tries to chip it out, and he does. Zharkov, maybe a one-on-one here against Matt Finn. Zharkov tried to flip it to himself, and Radek Faksa, who's shown some defensive responsibility early on in this game, comes back to break up that play.
Yeah, well, it's funny because Steve Spott, the head coach in Kitchener, says that Faksa has adjusted maybe as well as any European player he's had to coach, and that's high praise considering Gabriel Landeskog is the most recent European player to come out of that program.
Late pass by Kulik, can't get through a bunch of Team Orr sticks. Drieger keeps it alive, but it's picked off by Team Cherry. That one's off the glass, takes a strange hop. Athanasiou couldn't come up with it, and Tom Wilson fires it right back in.
Good quick reaction by Dumba to get that pass ahead off an odd bounce.
Wilson, big body Plymouth Whalers in the corner. Jamel Smith comes in to pluck it out. Lucas Sutter's out there. Sutter's fifth in Western Hockey League penalty minutes as Wilson's fifth in OHL penalty minutes.
Yeah, he's a big, tough customer, just like the rest of Mike Vellucci's Plymouth Whalers.
Tanner Pearson chases after the loose puck, gets it to Lucas Sutter, redirects it in front. Athanasiou all tied up, got a stick on it momentarily, and Dumba took care of business in front of the net.
Yeah, nice one-on-one play by Matthew Dumba.
Brett Kulak jumping into the play. That shot's off a stick, doesn't hit the net. Couple of Saskatoon Blades try to get that puck out. Thrower and Sutter can't do it. Comes in front. Tanner Pearson toward the end of a shift. He'll get close to the red line. That won't be icing. Little stumble by Fournier behind his own goal, but he had plenty of time with Team Orr changing. Severson, he doesn't have much time, but able to get that pass ahead to Mike Winther. Winther has 26 goals. 18 of them have come on special teams. 14 on the power play, 4 shorthanded.
Really dynamic player. Good speed, light in his feet, and really good around the net.
An important player for Prince Albert. Murray has that one skipped past. Moves it over to Dumba, gets the return feed, and then he gives it right back to Dumba. That pass hits a stick, and Derek Pouliot sniffs out a chance to jump into the play. Moves it to Troop. Drop pass, Sissons. His shot didn't hit the net. Griffin Reinhardt pinched in for a moment. The lead pass to Dane Fox. That's nowhere near him, and another icing against Team Cherries. Still some chances, but no goals yet.
Welcome back inside Prospero Place in Kelowna, BC. A lot of eyes watching number 25, Mikhail Grigorenko. He is with the Quebec Remparts. Rated number 2 by Central Scouting. There's another Russian player, pretty good one too, who is not here, in Nal Yakupov. We spoke to him before the game and said, okay, who's better, you or Yakupov?
First of all, he's a really good guy, and he's a really nice player, and I think he has everything to be a really good NHL player, and I think he'll play in NHL next year.
Who's better, Grigorenko or Yakupov?
Grigorenko.
Why?
I don't know. Just because it's me.
I thought he was going to be diplomatic about that, but I like the answer very quickly. Grigorenko on hand, and you want to talk about the Home Hardware, CHL, NHL Top Prospects. Log on to sportsnet.ca, and our columnist Patrick King is doing a live chat right now, so you can ask questions and make your comments. Go to sportsnet.ca.
Well, Mikhail Grigorenko, we've had a few opportunities to talk to him, and he is an engaging personality. He does have a good sense of humor.
He's a blast. Really, really fun to deal with.
Great chance in front. It was Thomas Heika. Fired it on goal, but Brandon Whitney makes another save. Dominic Volek, the son of David Volek, the old New York Islander, leaves it for Dane Fox, gets the return feed. Volek threw it through the blue paint, and Scott Lawton, who's just out of his reach. Ryan Murray, he's got some space. That was more of a pass. Scott Kosmachuk speeds the other way for Timor. His pass gets by everybody, sent right back out to center. Lawton bumps with his man thrower and knocks him down.
RJ, I've been really impressed in this game by the way the forwards have come back to help out defensively. They've been really good in the neutral zone as well. Brandon Whitney's been tested often in this game, and Thomas Heika gets an opportunity on a shot where tough for a goaltender to come across the ice and keep that lower part of the net covered, but Whitney did a great job. This guy's coached by Daniel Frechette, the goalie coach for the Victoriaville Tigre, and he is an up-and-coming coach. He's done a great job with Whitney in developing his skills. Now in competition with David Honzik, who was in this game last year.
Well, with just 3 regulation losses this season, Whitney has been probably a little unexpected for Victoriaville, but they're happy to have him.
You know, it's funny, he didn't expect to be where he was, going back to midget AAA, and all of a sudden you see this big tall kid walking around, and then the conversation started about playing in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Next thing you know, he says to himself, wow, I might be pretty good at this craft, and has taken full advantage of the opportunity with an excellent Victoriaville Tigre team coached by Yannick Jean.
Derek Pouliot. He's been a busy man in this first period. Gets away from trouble. Throws it to his defense partner, Griffin Reinhart. Reinhart ranked 8th among North American skaters. Reinhart, the son of Paul. Tanner Pearson bouncing puck. He comes up with it, leaves it for Lucas Sutter. You're wondering where he fits into the Sutter family. Rich Sutter is Lucas's father. Pearson walks in, and that one's off a stick and goes well up over the glass. The top scorers brought to you by Prestone. Visit www.prestone.com to enter Prestone's Skate with a Hockey Star contest.
Well, we're talking about the Victoriaville Tigre. Yannick Gord leading the way with 91 points. Zach O'Brien, 45 goals, doesn't have a penalty minute this season. Go down the list, Emerson Nino, the Medicine Hat Tigers, and Mark Stone. Great World Junior Hockey champion playing for the Brandon Wheat Kings.
Brandon Troop, who throws one in deep. Francis Bouvillier goes in to get it. Leaves it behind the net. Sissons is upended. Jamel Smith fell down, got back up, stayed with the puck. Troop keeps it along the boards.
Consistent play by Jamel Smith of the Owen Sound Attack, who really started to open a lot of eyes at the MasterCard Memorial Cup last year.
Tom Wilson threw another hit. He's thrown a couple every shift he's been out there. Watch big number 12 in red, but it's 12 in white right now leading the way. Stevenson to Troop, and he has his pocket picked by the speedy Jamel Smith of the Owen Sound Attack.
And there's some more forwards being responsible, coming back to help out after the puck is turned over.
Brandon Troop, he'll have to hurry. Goes on there, and a big collision between teammates, and that gives Timor a chance. Bozon and Firth ran into each other. Winther behind his goal, moves it along the boards. Firth there, he'll circle back into his own zone with Grigorenko watching him. Dumbo over to Brett Kulak. Kulak with a little bit of space. The bounce pass works nicely to Firth. Firth, he's eliminated along the boards. Now Dalton Thrower, the Saskatoon Blades from Squamish, BC. Moves it ahead to Grigorenko, and Thrower jumps into the play. Grigorenko, one-on-one move against Gordon. Grigorenko still with him. Low shot doesn't get through to Whitney. Thomas Heika comes up with it. Pouliot, one-time shot. That hits Grigorenko in front of the net. Pouliot gets it back. That one misses. Burke a chance to clear, and he gets it to center. Derek Pouliot lost it momentarily. Didn't panic. Came up with again. Drop pass for Raphael Boussier. Lucier of Baie-Comeau to Scott Kozmachuk of Guelph, and right there is Brandon Whitney making it look easy so far. Nothing's been able to beat the goaltenders. We're also getting a good look at the wireless camera. We've got a cameraman on skates on the ice, so we're bringing you pictures that are right in the action. Something unique to Sportsnet, game action with a wireless camera.
Gotta love it. I was a little worried for him in the warm-up though.
We'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the viewers on the NHL Network as the 2012 Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game is well underway. Still looking for our first goal, but there's been plenty of action.
Yeah, it's been a really good pace. Pat Quinn talked about it with our Rob Valls earlier on, how he's really enjoyed the pace. What's been interesting for me is just how responsible the forwards have been in this game to this point.
Dominic Volek, his pass sets into the skates of Radek Faksa. Faksa has it taken away from Dylan Fournier. Fournier was a late add to this game, and we've been impressed with him so far in the practices.
Yeah, the first overall pick in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League a couple of years ago to Lewiston.
Kozmachuk tries to walk into the slot. Kozmachuk stays with it. Lucier bumps with his man, and Griffin Reinhart, the tallest skater in the game. The tallest player in the game is the goaltender for Team Cherry right now, Brandon Whitney.
Well, they're making big these days. Matt Murray of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. He's a tall guy as well.
Another icing this time against Timor. Let's go back to Rob Falls.
Always one of the most hotly anticipated days in the NHL calendar. It's February 27th, and you can keep track of every NHL deal with Hockey Central's trade deadline. You can stay connected with Sportsnet as we follow all the action and reaction to the day's event. It is Hockey Central, the trade deadline show, February 27th.
Ryan Murray off the faceoff had Zharkov in front of the net. The pass was just behind him. Andreas Athanasiou. He tested well in a lot of the next testing that they did before the skills competition. A giveaway. Lucas Sutter got a shot away. That was stopped by Whitney. It came in back in front of the net, but there's Murray. Calmly moves it over to Zharkov, who just sent it out to center. Damon Severson. Over to Murray. Such a smooth skater. Gets to the red line. Zharkov comes up with it. His pass in front of the net. That hit a stick. And Lucas Sutter of the Saskatoon Blades has a little bit of space. Slows things down. Matt Finn. Finn tied for 6th in OHL defenseman scoring. That shot's up high on Whitney. He steers it back behind the net.
Playing about 30 minutes a game for Scott Walker and Guelph.
Dalton Thrower with a big shot, but it was nowhere near the goal. Tom Wilson, his pass, that's off his skate. Jamel Smith chases after it, and in a battle with Dalton Thrower behind the goal. Thrower wins that and moves it to Brandon Troop. Speeding up the middle is Francis Beauvillier, and it's not a surprise to see him flying around. He won the fastest skater.
He can really pick him up and put him down. Use the speed there.
Sissons, side of the net, gets a couple of cracks at it. Whitney stops him. Brandon Troop. Front of the net, Beauvillier has it knocked off his stick. Now a chance for Tim Bozon from Switzerland. We saw him creative in the breakaway challenge. Had the puck on his stick in one hand over his head.
Fluent in 4 languages. His father Philippe played a short time in the National Hockey League with the St. Louis Blues.
And what a season it's been for Bozon, leading all WHL rookies in goals and points.
And on a very good Kamloops Blazers team.
No kidding. Number 2 in the CHL top 10. If you're wondering who's number 1, it's the London Knights. They're represented here by Andreas Athanasiou. Haika leaves it for Grigorenko. Grigorenko moves it over to Griffin Reinhart. Got a shot on goal. Whitney steered that behind the net. Scramble back there. Thomas Haika, who played with the Czech Republic at the World Junior Hockey Championship. He's in there with Chandler Stevenson. Martin Firth moves it to Severson. Severson right back to Fournier. Now Dylan Fournier goes back behind his goal. Firth can't handle that clean. That gives Reinhart a chance. Fakes the shot. Reinhart create a little bit of space. Threw it in front. It's up in the air. Bouncing puck. Grigorenko comes up with it. Mikhail Grigorenko, the top-ranked player in this game. Derek Pouliot. Portland Winterhawks, his pass hit Scott Kosmachuk. He didn't get far with it, and Pouliot will have to chase it back into his own zone.
I've loved Pouliot's game so far. He's made it before. Really good first passes. He's thrown the body around. He's just off the sights a little bit with his shot right now. He's had 2 good shot attempts, but either one has hit the net.
Brandon Whitney out to play it. Scott Lawton of the Oshawa Generals leads the rush for Team Cherry. Lawton drops it off. That's a block by Adam Pelech, and Brett Kulak jumps into the play. That shot's deflected. Dane Fox behind the net to Lawton. Volek looking for a pass in front. Fox, puck was in the air. He couldn't knock it down, and Raphael Boussière comes the other way. Murray breaks up another play. Got it ahead to Volek. Volek's shot. That's gloved by the Hitman's Chris Drieger, and he hangs on.
Well, we'll take a look at some of the players that have National Hockey League connections that we're seeing in this game. Tim Bozon, we talked about him, his father Philippe playing for the St. Louis Blues. Brendan Gaunce, his brother Cameron, a former Mississauga St. Michael's Majors. Adam Pelech, his brother Matt, was a first rounder to Calgary, and Michael now playing in the East Coast League. And then you have the 9 Reinhardt brothers, Griffin to go along with the 2 Kootenay brothers, Max and Sam. And the list goes on. A lot of National Hockey League connections in this game.
You know, speaking of the Reinhardts, Griffin ranked number 8 among North American skaters, and scouts already drooling over 16-year-old Sam.
Oh yeah, 47 points in 45 games for the Kootenay Ice.
Tanner Pearson, a little bit of open ice for the OHL's second leading scorer, and Whitney got a piece of that one. Dalton Thrower, he pinched up, had to be careful. He won that battle. Moves it ahead to center. Dalton Thrower rifles it back in. The points starting to come for Dalton Thrower. He's got 84 penalty minutes, but 40 points in 50 games, and he's skyrocketed up to 30th among North American skaters, and we will have a penalty.
Tonight's Power Plays, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's reliable network.
Well, the captain here in Kelowna, Colton Sissons, goes to the box for Team Warren. You can see him coming back up the ice, chops down Matt Dumba on our first power play of the game.
Bozon off the face-off. His pass doesn't connect. We talked to the coaches. They said they would just roll the lines. All these guys are used to playing power play time, but if it's a close game late, they might change some things up.
Well, this will have to carry over for Team Cherry in period 2.
A chance to draw up some power play strategy. 0-0 after the first. Let's go back to Jeff Merrick and Damian Cox. Jeff.
RJ, thanks very much. Do you want to know what the future of this event is, the Top Prospects Game? Well, stick around. In the first intermission, we'll talk to CHL President David Branch. Scoreless after 1. The 2012 Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game continues. Welcome back to Prospera Place. Boy, these prospects get younger and younger every year, don't they? Damian Cox and Sam Cosentino scoreless after 1 here at the rink. And Damian, as we talked about in the outset of the broadcast today, it's a physical affair in that first period.
Yeah, it is, and I think you see the unfamiliarity of the players with each other as they try to get things going offensively. But the one thing they can do is bang a few bodies, and Tom Wilson got it started early with a hit here, and there was a little bit of pushing and shoving there. Lucas Sutter, no surprise that Sutter's involved there. Right? There was a lot of good physical play, so I think that will get the game going a little bit more as it goes along.
Yeah, actually, I like the pace of the first period of play. There wasn't a ton of shots on goal, but the physical play, I loved it a lot. And you know, you look at Tom Wilson, this is a Plymouth Whaler. Mike Vellucci's teams are always big and strong and always play that physical brand of hockey. So if you were looking to someone to ignite, surely he'd be the guy to do it.
Could you see someone like, I don't know, Dalton Thrower accepting?
Oh, yeah, I think, yeah. You know what, we've seen it a couple of times before. Hey, if Steven Stamkos can play in this game and get in a fight, then you know what, anything's possible. But there hasn't really been anything to precipitate yet that to this point. We'll see how it comes along, but I would expect the hard hitting to continue.
And I think we'd like to see that maybe there's going to be a little bit more from Mikhail Grigorenko and some of the other skill players. Like I say, there's some unfamiliarity there.
Right.
And maybe as the game goes on, they'll start to see each other a little bit more on the ice.
Well, Sam, let's get to our play of the period, brought to you by OK Tire, honestly driven.
Speaking of Grigorenko, he's got those great hands, and a shot from the point. It's Grigorenko in front of the net on a bit of a drive-by. He's able to tip that puck, it goes off the mask of Brandon Whitney. And if he's a short goaltender, maybe that one sneaks in behind him, but instead he takes it right in the nugget. Nice deflection in front by Grigorenko.
Well, I'll tell you what, a fun first period here at Prospera Place, home of the Kelowna Rockets. Last night it was home of the skills competition, and what fun this was, the thousands in attendance, seeing Rob Falls as the master of ceremonies for the entire affair.
Nice.
Out there on his wheels. Good old Rob Falls, introducing, and here's the fastest skater. I thought Jamel Smith was going to win this one, Sam, but a little speed wobble cost him.
Yeah, he wobbled twice and still came in under 15 seconds, but Pavilion was great from the Rimouski Oceanic. Light guy, a light on his feet.
Hardest shot, Nick Ebert of the Windsor Spitfires, not playing in tonight's game. He's ill, Sam.
Yeah, tough break for Nick Ebert of the Windsor Spitfires. You go back to last year, he was one of the highly ranked guys. Not so much so far this year, but his game's starting to pick up in
the
Windsor.
Accuracy competition, Gianluca Cucurutto of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds goes 4 for 5. And here's the crew that are judging the Showdown Breakaway Challenge.
Look at this.
This is Tim Bozon of the Kamloops Blazers with maybe a tribute to Nino Niederreiter here, Sam.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty funny because he talked to us a little bit about the skills development in Switzerland, and that's a big part of what they're doing. Pretty good skill there.
And Radek Faksa there with the big goal. What did you give him there, Sam?
These guys.
Not too much. We didn't have any 10s, unfortunately.
Radek Faksa's goal. Celtics getting away a big win last night. Team Orr beating Team Cherry last night. The top prospect skills competition. The proverbial fun had by all. That's what happened last night. Team Orr, the overall standings winner by a score of 15-9. Anyone really stand out last night in the skills competition for you, Sam?
No, I thought it was well done. I love the 3-on-3 in this event. Yeah. I think it's a great opportunity for guys to show off their skill. It allows them to cheat a little bit because that's kind of what you have to do to be successful in 3-on-3. That's what I like the most.
And I like the format too with the buzzer and keep going. They don't bother with face-offs and stuff like that. You saw a lot of flow. Probably saw even more flow than you've seen tonight so far anyways.
Yeah, it's a great event, the 3-on-3.
It was a lot of fun. You know, it's one of those things the NHL should look at. That 3-on-3 was fantastic. Probably the highlight outside of the individual skills, which are always fun. That 3-on-3 was fantastic. All right, scoreless after one. The goaltenders are standing tall, including that gentleman, Brandon Whitney of Team Cherry. We're back with the president of the CHL, David Branch, next.
Your work never really stops. The jobs may change with the seasons, but the need for power, performance, and affordability doesn't. Right now, it's the perfect time to get a great price on durable, quality Kubota equipment. Upgrade your landscaping, construction, or farming equipment and attachments, and get what you need for the months ahead. Because work never stops, and neither does Kubota. See your local Kubota dealer today.
First period scoring summary brought to you by Old Dutch, the official chip of the Canadian Hockey League. As you saw in the highlights.
You want to do this one? Can you handle this?
I think I can handle this one, Damien. A lot of hits, a lot of saves, no goals through 20 minutes. Team Cherry, we should point out, will play at least a minute 47 or less on the power play after Colton Sisson's penalty to end the first period. Back here at the arena, as I mentioned, scoreless alongside Damien Cox, and the president of the Canadian Hockey League, David Branch, joins us now. David, take us back 17 years to the creation of the Top Prospects Game. What was your thinking going into it, and did you ever think it would achieve status, the likes of which we see tonight in Kelowna?
Well, first of all, I was maybe too young to really be part of the overall process. I was just a little guy at that time. And actually, the genesis came from Ed Chenouth, who was the president of the Canadian Hockey League at the time, and Brian Burke, who was then with the National Hockey League. And it was all about how we could design a platform for our players to, have greater attention given in a very special game, and allow general managers the opportunity to do one-stop shopping and see them on the ice and so forth. And so the idea was born, and then the big part too that we felt we'd have some challenge with is no home team. So how do you make it work? And that's where Don Cherry and Bobby Orr came into it, and Don was just outstanding, as was Bobby, and thus we named the teams in their honor. And if it wasn't for Coach Don, and it was really interesting, I called Don and I said, Don, we'd like you to be the honorary coach. in this new concept we've got. And he said, no, I'll only come if I can be the coach. And the rest is history. So it's really taken off from there.
Now, every event, all these all-star competitions, I mean, everybody's trying to find out the actual perfect combination of things to do. Every year there's been, or different years there have been tweaks. And one tweak this year is you're going to honor the player of the game in honor of Jim Gregory, sort of one of the most popular men in the sport of hockey.
Yeah. He's such an incredible person. He got his start in junior hockey. He's one of our builders. A couple of years ago, of course, he was recognized and inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and we just thought it was so right and fitting to lend his name to a very special event and pay recognition for all he's done for junior hockey as well in this country, and he's been a mentor to so many of us.
And David, on that we'll wrap, but you're right about Jim Gregory. As you mentioned last night at the wine tasting, ladies and gentlemen, and let's hope that becomes an annual. Yes. Jim Gregory has done it all in hockey. David, congratulations, another success. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Jeff.
And I really do hope that they bring Bruce Hamilton along every year and we do a great wine tasting. So those Okanagan wines were fantastic last night. Hockey inside, hockey outside, one of the great junior hockey markets, coming back to Kelowna in moments. Scoreless after one, the 2012 NHL CHL Top Prospects Game presented by Home Hardware. One thing you have to know about Rob Falls is he's a no-bull kind of guy, but he's standing next to a Belleville bull right now. Rob.
Yeah, a guy who's much better on skates than I am with Brendan Gantz of Team Cherry. Tell me about the first period. You guys got into it right away, throwing the body around.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. We came out and we knew both teams were going to be pretty nervous, so pucks are got to be getting deep, and I thought we did pretty well with that, and we got 10 shots on goal. That's what we wanted. So this period we're just going to try to work it low in their end, and hopefully goals will come from that.
Anything specific that Ryan or Mark told you in the intermission that they wanted to see in this second period?
All the nerves are out now, and we can just have fun. So that's the game plan for this period.
Thanks very much. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Brendan Gantz, whose brother Cameron, National Hockey League up and down with the Colorado Avalanche. But this is one talented young man who won a gold medal at the Ivan Holinka this past summer, playing on a line with Jared Maidens and Charles Hudon of the Chicoutimi Sags.
Both guys were supposed to be here at the Home Hardware Top Prospects game, but both guys injured.
Really tough for Maidens. I mean, just trying to battle back from concussion issues, and for Hudon, an upper body injury suffered in the last week keeps him out of this event.
Well, no score. Start of the second period and 1:45 of power play time for Team Cherry. And Ryan Murray starts things off. Gets it to Matthew Dumba. That's a pretty good combination on the point to start a power play with. Lucas Sutter, he rifles one, and that went into the Timor bench. Looks like everybody's all right.
Lucas Sutter is one of those guys who mixes the brains and the brawn, and the skill with the brawn. Just a few guys across the entire Canadian Hockey League with 20+ goals and 100+ PIMs, and Sutter puts himself squarely in that category.
A face-off win for Sutter, just another thing he can do well. Pouliot rifles it around the boards, doesn't get past Dumba. Dumba right back in. Griffin Reinhart using that big body, and the puck squirts loose to Pouliot. He moves it ahead to Sutter. He slows things down and rolls it in and head off on a change. Whistle goes as Dumba was coming out of his own zone.
You get a look at Lucas Sutter along with Mike Homo of the Owen Sound Attack, Brad Ross of Portland, Alexandre Maé of Rimouski, and Kramer in Spokane, all able to put up the goals and the penalty minutes.
Sutter having a laugh. Fired one into the bench, keeping the boys awake early on in the second.
A little more of a warning call than they would have liked.
Damon Severson has it roll off his stick. Team Cherry hasn't been able to set much up on this power play. Dylan Fournier finds Martin Firk. Winther gets himself in front of the net. Firk couldn't get it to him. Fournier plays with Ruen Noranda. Leaves it for Firk across to Severson. Crowd would like to see Severson do a little something. A wild shot by Firk was high and wide.
Yeah, you can tell he's not a defenseman. I know if he were a forward, he wouldn't want to be in front of the net with that cannon going off.
25 seconds to go in the power play. Brett Kulak rifles it around the boards. Waiting there is Burke. Has it in his skates. Kulak comes up with it. Chips it toward the front of the net. Bouncing puck. Fox can't do much with it. And a good penalty kill by Timor. Final 10 seconds of the man advantage.
And that's where the chemistry, when you don't play together with guys a lot, that's where it comes to the fore, the most special teams.
Scott Lawton comes in over the line. That snapshot's up high. Fox right in front of the net. Gianluca Cucuruto, the sniper in the accuracy competition, moved it ahead, and Dalton Thrower, who leads all defensemen in scoring on Timor, brought it in over the line, but it was offside.
Thrower the Saskatoon Blades, but Chris Drieger with the red-hot Calgary Hitmen. You want to talk about a month? This guy was 6-0 in January with a 1.24 and a .954 save percentage. I talked to him a little bit today. He said, listen, I just was not playing well in November and December. In fact, he said, I was awful. But his game has really started to pick up. Go figure. The Hitmen have won 14-15.
Brandon Truk speeding in. Threw it in front of the net. Ryan Murray picked that off. Dominic Volek had two Timor members on him. Got it to center. Couldn't get it much further. Now Truk, he's double teamed along the boards. Bouvillier retreats back to Pouliot. That's usually a safe play, at least in this game. Pouliot has made a lot of smart plays with the puck.
Yeah, he's got great poise.
Griffin Reinhart. That pass finds Sissons. He's checked as he went to the front of the net. Reinhart shot. Short side. He scores. Griffin Reinhart, the first goal of the home hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game.
Well, great job by Truk in front of the net of the Seattle Thunderbirds. He has to engage with Fournier in front of the net, and that little tiny hole, Brandon Whitney can't see through it. Sissons will get it back here. Nice look to Reinhart, and Reinhart says, I'm just going to take the shot. And you have in front of the net Truk in white and the defenseman Fournier for Team Cherry in red providing the screen. And Whitney just pulls off that post a little, and in past him, hit goes for the first goal of the game.
Well, good look at what scouts like about Griffin Reinhart. He's big. He's 6'4". He's scored 11 goals for the Edmonton Oil Kings this season and gets the first one here in the home hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game. Derek Pouliot was just poke checked as he came in over the line. Lead pass to Gauntz, a low shot. Drieger had to be careful with that. Severson, he'll pitch in. Float one toward the front of the net. Gauntz was all tied up. Zharkov, that shot, that stopped by Drieger. Drieger with the paddle down, able to corral that and hang on.
Yeah, Drieger really feeling it right now. Having to make a couple of stops on some Belleville Bulls. Great story here. Damon Severson, defenseman, missed a bunch of time this year with the Kelowna Rockets. But you go back to his draft year, the guy was playing house league in Saskatchewan. I mean, how does that happen? And in his draft year, he's playing house league, 170 points in 40 some odd games. Next thing you know, he's drafted into the WHL, and now he's one of the top prospects.
Well, he had an option. He could go to a team that was struggling, or he could go to house league and win a few games, put up some points, gain some confidence, and he elected to do the house league, and clearly a good decision for the Melville, Saskatchewan boy.
Yeah, based on the advice of his dad. He took that advice, and it's paid dividends.
Pelech has that one picked off behind the net by Tim Bozon. Dumba, his low shot, that hits traffic in front. The puck was sitting there, but it's cleared by Matt Finn. Kosmachuk, Finn's Guelph teammate. His lead pass, Dumba quickly the other way. That one's right on the tape of Jamal Smith, and he puts the afterburners on, coming in over the line. Raphael Boussiere to Kosmachuk. Can't get much on that dump in. He's bumped by Dumba. Ryan Murray leaves it for Dumba in the corner. Tom Wilson there as well, but Kosmachuk comes up with it. Threw one on net. Whitney handled that. Thrower's shot. That's deflected. Whitney stops that too. Timor keeping the pressure on. They're up 1-0. Jamal Smith to Tim Bozon. He could be a creative player. That shot blocked by Thrower. He didn't know where it was, but Kosmachuk, rather Radek Faksa was there to pick up that loose puck. Faksa leading OHL rookies in goals, assists, and points. Been terrific for Kitchener. Fournier behind his own goal. Dylan Fournier ranked 138th among North American skaters. Have a hunch he might move up a bit.
Yeah, it takes the place of Cody Ceci, who was injured over the weekend with the Ottawa 67s, and Fournier taking full advantage.
Kulak to the Vancouver Giants. His lead pass to Dakota Gordon, and right away the goal scorer comes the other way. Reinhart dumps it deep. Tanner Pearson goes in. He's bumped by Kulak in the corner. Gordon digging at it, but it's Lucas Sutter that comes up with it. Sutter's pass was just outside the line. Reinhart leaves it for Lucas Sutter. 22 goals, 127 penalty minutes. Redirection in by Sutter. He'll chase in after it as Fournier goes to get it. Kulak, his pass. Villiers shot. That didn't hit the net. Sissons comes up with it. Drops it off for Pouliot. Tried to get it deep to Brendan Truk. Truk along the boards. Leaves it for Sissons, the captain of Timor, also the captain of the Kelowna Rockets. Truk knocks his man down. Comes up with the puck. Now Fournier. Dylan Fournier finally a little bit of time. Some aggressive forechecking by Timor, and that long pass goes all the way for icing. Let's go to Rob Falls.
We are looking forward to going to Vancouver February 10th to 12th for Davis Cup action. Canada's in the World Group. They will play France. You can watch Milos Raonic lead Canada against a very tough French squad. We will have it on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. Davis Cup February 10th through 12th.
Dane Fox on the face-off gets the backhand down the ice. Scott Lawton in a foot race with Adam Pellick. Pellick gets there, tries to shield the puck in the corner. Chandler Stevenson of the Regina Pats, a Saskatoon boy.
That made his mark, scoring the game winner in the outdoor game last year.
Thomas Heika quickly ahead to Stevenson with some speed. Stevenson dropping it off for Grigorenko. Fox trying to go the other way. Grigorenko picked his pocket. Fox has it again. That shot's tipped up over the glass, and we finally have a goal in the second period. Defenseman Griffin Reinhart opening the scoring for Timor.
Team Cherry still looking for a goal here in the top prospects. I'm with the coach, Mark Recchi. Mark, first of all, show everybody at home what you got on your hand. There it is, the knuckle duster from the Boston Bruins. Tell me about this. You know, you announced your retirement, but here's some kids who are ready to embark on their career. What have you been able to tell them?
Well, you know, just to enjoy this. This is a great opportunity for them. It's exciting. You know, this is the future of the NHL, these guys, and they're excited. The first period, I thought they played with a little nerves, but they seem to settle down now, and it's just an honor to be here out with them and getting to know them.
You know, for a former Kamloops Blazer, you got a pretty nice welcome here in Kelowna.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, but hey, BC, it's you know, it's a great province, and you know, I'm proud to grow up in Kamloops, and I can't thank Bruce Hamilton enough for giving me this opportunity.
Enjoy it.
Thanks, I will. Thanks.
Still looking for that first goal for Team Cherry.
And he is exactly right. Bruce Hamilton and the entire Kelowna Rockets organization, a first-class job as always. We get treated like kings whenever we come here, and a nice event last night for the scouts and for us media guys too.
No question, in Kelowna, just a beautiful city. Daniil Zarkov giving Kukurudo all he can handle. Kept in by Severson, deflected in front by Ryan, and Kukurudo was there to clear it away to Kosmachuk. He flips it down the ice. It won't be icing. Boussiere tries to speed in. Murray, he's bumped behind the net by Kosmachuk. Gaunt's in there to help out. Damon Severson gets to center. Had Ryan in the vicinity. Tried to feather one in. Thrower fanned on his pass. Tries it again. This time it's up to Boussiere, and he's got to step on Dumba. Dumba trying to get back into position, and Fournier's there to take it away. Kosmachuk's side of the net, there was a loose puck. Backs up. He can't come up with it. Wilson gives it to Kosmachuk. He tried to turn tight and come in front of the net. Kosmachuk still with it. Pouliot. That shot, that's deflected. Athanasiou along the boards. Has it in his skates. There's a loose helmet over there. Athanasiou trying to come off the boards with a puck. Fax in there digging away. Tanner Pearson able to come off the bench on a change. As Burke comes the other way. His pass off a teammate shin pad. Now Dumba jumps in. Dumba has it taken from him. Bozon. Athanasiou loses it to Bozon. Bozon watched by Sutter. Burke goes to the front of the net. Jamel Smith gets by Reinhart. So now Smith won an OHL championship with Owen Sound last year. Gets knocked down. And coming the other way is Pouliot. 3 Timor members. Athanasiou with some speed came in front of the net, and Severson knocked it off his stick. Whitney with some good rebound control as he directs that one up over the glass.
Some of the fans here in Kelowna calling for a penalty as Raphael Bussiere makes a beautiful play here in the neutral zone. As the pass comes up ice, he shields Dumba away, but Dumba with great recovery, a stick lift, and maybe a little embellishment on the part of Bussiere. And how about Severson coming back with a stick down on Athanasiou to take his scoring opportunity away.
Couple of good chances for Timor. A 1-0 lead for Timor. Team Cherry with a puck coming out of their own zone. Lead pass. Francis Beauvillier. Like to see him wind it up a little bit. The fastest skater in the skills competition. Damon Severson moves it over to Kulak. Kulak leads Vancouver Giants with a +21 rating. Team Cherry well offside as they tried to come in over the line. Let's check in with Rob Falls again. Rob.
There's no truth to the rumor that RJ Broadhead and Sam Cosentino have been members of the Alcatraz swim team. I'm not sure. 302 vanished. 3 must find them. Catch J.J. Abraham's bone-chilling drama, Alcatraz, Mondays at 9 Eastern on City TV.
We won't talk. We'll never tell. That's a secret. Curcarudo, he jumps into the play. Team was offside, so he had to bail on it. Now Curcarudo gets it back. Places to St. Murray, moves it over to Dalton, thrower of the Saskatoon Blades. Right back to Curcarudo. Surprised, even his teammate, goaltender Matt Murray, when he won the accuracy competition.
He had a great line for Rob Falls, too. And Falsey asked him if he was starting to pick up that scoring touch. He said, I only have 3 with my club team.
Brendan threw it in front, and Sissons couldn't get a stick on it. 3 Team Cherry members coming the other way, led by Dominic Bolick. A little stick handle and a shot stopped by Grieger. Bolick gets on that rebound. That pass finds Kulak. Dane Fox, Curcarudo staying close to him. Fox, his pass gets to Bolick. Now Thomas Heike the other way. Beauvillier. He just dumps one right on goal to Whitney, and as Heike comes close to him, he'll hang on.
You know, RJ, a lot of people want to know how the players are picked for this game. Dan Marr, the head of Central Scouting, tells us that each team submits a list of players. Each National Hockey League team. They pick 4 goalies, they pick 12 defensemen, and they pick 24 forwards. And then that list goes to the National Hockey League Central Scouting. They tabulate all the votes to see which player should go. And then if there's an injury, they go down to the next player on the list. If there happens to be a tie with an injured player and a replacement, that and only at that time is when National Hockey League Central Scouting steps in to decide the tie. So really, they don't have a lot to do with it other than the coordination of the event. It's the National Hockey League teams who have all the say as to who plays in this game.
Well, they want to see who they're going to be drafting. We've got some goaltending changes, and before we tell you all about them, Matt Murray gets tested immediately. We talked about him and being teammates with Curcarudo, and no warm-up, just comes in and makes a pretty solid right pad save.
Yeah, tough situation to be in.
Mikhail Grigorenko. He's bumped along the boards by Lawton. Wolek throws it in deep. Kulak. His pass, that's off Grigorenko's skate. It's all right, though, because it came back to him. Griffin Reinhart, he's trying to get away from Dane Fox. Nice move by Pouliot. Boy, he's been rock solid.
Oh, man.
Grigorenko leading the rush for Timor. He circles away from trouble. Stevenson behind the net. Griffin Reinhart's pinched in. Adam Pellick, his shot through traffic, and again, Matt Murray gets tested. And Matt Murray, fresh into the game, makes another save. Timor still leading 1-0.
Griffin Reinhart with the lone goal. 1-0 Timor over Team Cherry. Okay, Scout Cox, what did you see in that goal?
I don't know. Well, it was a dirty goal. We expect skill. We expect things to happen. This was kind of a dirty goal. Average of 9 goals in the last 7 Top Prospects game. All of a sudden, we came to this All-Star game, and a defensive struggle has broken out. Where's the? Let's see some things happening out there.
You're doing pretty well with the scout speak. Shows promise, lacks focus. You're a natural at this, Damien. RJ.
It's a battle. Teams have been good in their own zones. That's a positive. Daniil Zharkov looking sharp coming in the first test on Francois Tremblay of the Val-d'Or Fourier, and he looks sharp early on with not much of a warm-up for him. So both goaltenders coming into this game tested fairly early on.
How hard must that be? You're sitting on the bench, you just got a ball cap on. Next thing you know, you're thrown into it.
Timor looking for a little something here. Bouncing puck, Faxa. He can't come up with it. And here's Team Cherry the other way. Andrew Ryan had a broken ankle and a high ankle sprain both this season, so he's just getting back into rhythm with the Halifax Mooseheads. Kosmachuk dumped it in. Faxa, he tried to quickly throw it in front, didn't get it past Dumba. Boussiere to Kirkarudo, and Murray saw it at the last minute and stopped it. Matthew Dumba of the Red Deer Rebels sits 7th among North American skaters. His pass ahead to Ryan. Zharkov at center. He saw Kirkarudo coming, spun away from that, and rolled it into the Orr zone. Lead pass. Sutter was up there, but getting back in a hurry was Ryan Murray, and Murray can get back in a hurry. He's got the great wheels.
Speaking of great wheels, how about Zharkov, who plays for the Belleville Bulls, streaking down the wing, kicks it between his legs to get around Matt Finn. Good shot on goal, and equally a good save. I mean, Matt Finn turned around as Francois Tremblay of the Val-d'Or Fourier gets his opportunity to come into this game. Goaltender split at about the halfway mark of the period.
Zharkov, you look at his points, he's got 22 of them, but he's only played in 29 games, so he's another guy that's just getting back into his rhythm.
Yeah, how many guys have we had like that who've missed significant time?
There has been a lot of guys just getting back on track, and a lot of guys, you look at the defensemen, there's a few in Morgan Riley, Cody Ceci, Ollie Matta, Slater Cuckoo, so a pretty good group, not here, but all injured.
It's been one of those years for scouts to see the high-end guys. You've really had to be diligent in your viewing because so many of them have missed significant periods of time.
Griffin Reinhart in front of his own goal, moved it over the boards. Murray gets tripped up by Sutter. Fournier drops it off for Wilson. That was stopped by Tremblay, and there will be a penalty coming up, a tripping call against Lucas Sutter.
Yeah, and this one clear as day right out at the blue line, and Sutter questioning the call, but really not a whole lot to suggest otherwise, that this should not have been a penalty. You see Sutter going against Murray, gets the stick between his legs, and as Murray tries to escape him, it's that stick and the wedge between the legs that trips him up.
Second power play chance for Team Cherry. They didn't have much going on that first opportunity. Mike Winter of the Prince Albert Raiders. Damon Severson moves it over to Kulak. Kulak is pressured by Chandler Stevenson. Got it behind the net to Winter. Go to Gordon. His pass finds Martin Firk. Now back to Kulak. That shot blocked by Dalton Thrower. Go to Gordon, 6th in rookie scoring for the Swift Current Broncos.
A really smart player from Mark Lamb's team.
Martin Firk over to Winter. Winter's bumped by Kirkarudo, knocked down, right back up, cuts in front of the net, and Tremblay right there to stop the short side chance.
I like how Winter decided to be a little creative. Just when you thought he was going to wrap it around, he comes back out the short side.
Well, he might be the right guy to have out there. 14 power play goals this season for the Prince Albert Raiders. And he won't get one here as he heads off on a change as Timor sent it into the Cherry zone.
And the Raiders may have their second consecutive first-round pick with Mark McNeil going to Chicago last year. Winter in that conversation as a first-round projection.
Speaking of Mark McNeil, he was just named the CHL Player of the Week. 40 seconds to go in the power play for Team Cherry. Matt Finn, he gets to that puck. Now a chance to clear for Brendan Kruk. He spotted an opening and sent it down the ice. Matt Murray with it. That's one thing he said he wants to work on is his puck handling as a goaltender.
And he's got the master to help teach him in Jack Campbell.
Dominic Volek going after it. Finn had it momentarily. Finn gets it back. That won't get out. Fournier keeps it in. Moves it over to Matt Dumba. Dumba tried to throw it in front. And Sissons doesn't get much on the clearing, but good enough to get it outside the zone. Final few seconds of the power play, so Team Cherry now 0 for 2 with the man advantages. Sutter gets back into the play. Bolek walks in, and that shot off the stick of Adam Pelech and went wide. Bolek threw it right back in deep. Pelech circles away from trouble. Pelech sits at -4 on the Erie Otters, which is the best of any player that's played with Erie all season. And -4 doesn't sound good. It's been a tough year for Erie. Just 6 wins. Some players in the -50s. So -4 isn't that bad.
Yeah, and he's too is another guy who's missed a lot of time. And you look at him out there, he reminds me so much of his brother Matt, a former Belleville Bull London Knight Sarnia Sting player drafted in the first round by Calgary a few years back.
Raphael Bussière trying to find some open space. Stays on his feet. Pass to Pouliot. Tried to bounce it off the backboards. We're seeing some creative plays by Pouliot too.
Loved his game tonight.
Gaunce, that shot off his shin pad. Murray jumps into the play. Can't get it to the front of the net. Murray will stay in deep as Gaunce fills in for him on the blue line. Maybe a chance here for Timor. Kosmachuk. He's at the end of his shift. He'll roll it in, and Lucas Sutter goes in to get it. Lucas Sutter to Athanasiou. He takes a bump, goes behind the net. Tanner Pearson, the Barrie Colts. He won a bronze medal with Team Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship. His shot. Dumba using his body to shield the puck. Flicks one in on Tremblay. He handles that no problem. Athanasiou of the #1 ranked London Knights skating out of his own zone as Sutter was knocked down. Athanasiou trying to pick up some speed, and he's poke checked as he got to the line. Sutter throws a hit on Jamel Smith. So Sutter gets up and looked for a little redemption.
Yeah, and Wilson went right back after him and said, hey, what do you think about this?
Well, those are the two guys, and here we go. It'll be Dalton Thrower and Tom Wilson going at it. Wilson of Plymouth and Thrower of the Saskatoon Blades, and they're going to take the lids right off.
And Jeff Merrick called it, and you know what? You knew Tom Wilson would be involved here. He looked like he asked Sutter. Sutter didn't want to go, so Thrower stepped up.
Well, Tom Wilson 5th in the OHL in penalty minutes. Thrower is 84, and he's no stranger to this. A little bit of size advantage for Tom Wilson. And Dalton Thrower living up to his name, hanging right in there as Wilson trying to get that right hand loose. And Thrower trying to tie him up, and the officials will get in there. And Tom Wilson and Dalton Thrower going at it as Wilson was throwing his weight around and Thrower stepped up. The Saskatoon Blade teammate Lucas Sutter was the guy who took the hit, and Thrower was the guy that dropped the gloves. Things getting a little feisty as Wilson and Thrower went at it. Tom Wilson has been doing a lot of that so far in this game.
Home Hardware, CHL, NHL Top Prospects. All these skaters and the goaltenders and defensemen go through what they call next testing. With me is Ian Mosher of Next Testing Ontario. Explain exactly what next testing is all about, Ian.
What we're all about is testing each player, giving them a good evaluation, all about baselines, comparing yourself to your peers, and just really getting a good understanding of what the player can bring to the table athletically.
And this is off-ice and on-ice testing you do?
Correct. Off-ice and on-ice. We do a couple things off-ice like leg power, grip strength. On-ice, we do everything from forward speed, backward speed, and transition speed.
And they give them a handy book to all the scouts and general managers that have details of all the testing. So it is hard work for every one of these players here in Kelowna.
And just as an FYI, if you're wondering who scored the best, it's Andreas Athanasiou of the London Knights, who's overall ranked the best.
Just more information for scouts to get their hands on when evaluating these players.
Thomas Heiko will chase after it. Brett Kulak tried to tie him up. Matt Dumba circling in the corner, moves it ahead to Scott Lawton quickly. Finds Jamel Smith. Griffin Reinhardt plays that big frame into Jamel Smith and knocks him down. Tim Bozon of the Kamloops Blazers. He's the WHL rookie scoring leader. Picked off by Derek Pouliot. The Portland Winterhawks. Pouliot leading the rush. That backhander, that hit Murray. Heika moves it to Stevenson. Tried to chip it ahead. And Pouliot, who's been all over the ice, comes up with it and fires it right into the Team Cherry zone. Brett Kulak of the Vancouver Giants. Moves it ahead to Coda Gordon. Mike Winther. He's got some speed. Number 11 for Team Cherry went in there, and Pelech was able to bump him off the puck. Winther trying to get that loose puck, and Matt Finn moves it out to center. Finn gets tangled up with a linesman. Sends it back to Pelech. Now Beauvillier, he's got speed, walks in, pretty good shot too, but he missed the net. Brendan Troop. What a story Troop is. He didn't play hockey at all last season. Had concussion-like symptoms, and they found out it was an occipital nerve, massage, and acupuncture, has him back on the ice, and he's one of the happiest guys here.
Yeah, happy-go-lucky, and he's made a really good impression on me. I had not seen him at all until showing up here, and he's been really good.
Not many people had taken a year off hockey and still to be able to come back and play at this level.
So he feels like this is gravy to him, and maybe more than anyone, more relaxed in this situation. You want to show you Derek Pouliot. He's been great in this game, but watch the anticipation. He's lower right part of your screen, number 51. He slowly slips over into position where he knows that puck's going to be dumped, cycled back down the boards. So he slides over, picks that pass off, and now he's got a lane to take it up on the rush. Derek Pouliot has been fantastic all game long. He's ranked 10th amongst North American skaters and one of the Fab Five in the Western Hockey League. And Pouliot, playing for Mike Johnson's Portland Winterhawks, says his team has learned a lot from losing to Kootenay in the Western Hockey League Ed Chynoweth Cup Championship game, Championship Series last year.
Pouliot tied for 11th among Western Hockey League defensemen in scoring. With Lelays, the official talks with Don Hay momentarily. Ready to go now. It's 1-0. Minute 26 to go in the second period. Griffin Reinhart for Team Orr, the lone goal. Maybe an issue here with Matt Murray is they had to remove his neck guard, and I believe they're replacing it with a different one. So Matt Murray of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, 17-year-old from Thunder Bay, has come in. At the midway point of this period, been tested a couple of times. Little equipment issue. Brendan Troop, lead pass to Beauvillier. Beauvillier dumps it in. He'll go off on a change. Murray, where's number 30? Because of Martin Brodeur also says he's a Carey Price fan.
Really enjoyed watching Carey Price at the National Hockey League All-Star game.
Well, Matt Murray is a pretty good personality too. I got to know him a little bit over the last couple of days.
You get that impression just by looking at him that he might be one of those quiet, introverted guys, but good conversation.
Gianluca Curcarudo. Moved it over to Pouliot, right back to Curcarudo. Lucier moves it ahead to Faxa. He whacks at it and it goes right on Murray, and then he speeds in, so Murray will hang on to this.
Well, the physical play continues. We talked a little bit about it with Jeff Merrick and Damian Cox at the intermission, and here in period number 2, watch Dane Fox comes behind the net in pretty precarious position and hitting Derek Pouliot. Unsuspecting, had his back turned to him, and he just kind of chipped his shoulder to Dane Fox. The physical play continues.
Lucas Sutter's been good on the faceoffs for Team Orr. That puck thrown in front. Athanasiou, who did well in the next testing. He just chipped it low. Team Cherry the other way. Gauntz moves it ahead to Zharkov. Zharkov gave it away. Pearson to Athanasiou, and Sutter couldn't pick that one up with his skates. Dumba back into his own zone. Gauntz, his lead pass. That doesn't find anyone in a red jersey, and it'll be an icing against Team Cherry.
Matthew Dumba, the Red Deer Rebels, went to Canada's World Junior Hockey Selection Camp, and he was cut, and he really took it hard, and rightfully so. He played well enough, I think, to make the team, but because he's a younger guy, he'll have a couple more opportunities. But I think, especially for this game and moving towards his draft, I think it's really going to help him, that experience. He's never experienced that kind of disappointment before, and now he will have learned from that experience, and you got to love this guy. Just plays with great passion, always has a smile on his face. 16
goals this season as a defenseman. That's second in the Western Hockey League. James Bedauer, the overage player with Medicine Hat, he's having a fantastic year. He has 18 goals.
Dumba can add offense along with that good open ice hitting.
He's a dangerous player for the Red Deer Rebels. Another player in the Western Hockey League is the lone goal scorer, Edmonton Oil Kings, Griffin Reinhart. It's 1-0. Let's go to Jeff Merrick. Jeff.
RJ, thanks very much. And this may only be one game, and it is peer-on-peer, but you ever wonder what scouts look for in a game like this evening? We'll talk to the director of NHL Central Scouting, Dan Marr, after the break. In lovely Kelowna, Prospero plays Griffin Reinhardt's goal, standing tall, 1-0 after 40 minutes. Join us February 17th, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. This will be a good one. Quebec Ramparts taking on the defending Memorial Cup champion, St. John Sea Dogs. Another chance to watch the man we're watching tonight, Mikhail Grigorenko, #2 ranked prospect in North America, alongside Damian Cox and Sam Cosentino. Much like in the first period, Damian, another physical affair in the second.
And tight checking. I mean, all these responsible hockey players, where have all the selfish hockey players go? The guys hanging out at the red line waiting for the home run pass. They're not here tonight.
And guess who was laughing at us about a fight in the second period? How about that, Sam Cosentino? Let's have a time now for our play of the period, which is brought change that. Hardest working player of the game, brought to you by WestJet. WestJet, because we care. Damian Brandon Gaunce.
Yeah, and he is a hard-working guy. He's a disciple of Gary Roberts, worked out. And, of course, his older brother, Cameron, is a 2008 draft pick of the Colorado Avalanche. He went 50th overall. Brandon's dream, go a little bit higher than his brother, get bragging rights in the family.
Yeah, that should work out pretty well. Comes from that hockey family. But what I like about Gaunce playing for the Belleville Bulls and George Burnett, he really felt that he should have been invited to the Subway Super Series, and when he wasn't, he's been inspired by that. I like Gaunce for his performance at the Ivan Holinka tournament this past summer. He played in that line alongside Jaron Maidens, Charles Houdon, and that was the go-to line for that gold medal winning team.
Now, you guys have been talking a lot about Derek Pouliot, and boy, he's something else. But I tell you, you know, we talked about the Fab Five of junior hockey, and the four that are here, Matt Finn, Matt Dumba, Ryan Murray, and of course, Derek Pouliot. The one thing that really jumps out at you about all these guys, their mobility. These guys are NHL caliber skaters. I mean, the mobility really jumps out at you.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I talked a little bit about it off the top of the broadcast, but you go back to that 2008 draft where you saw Drew Doughty go second, what a pick he was, and then you had Luke Shen who went 5. Bogosian is a great National Hockey League.
Tyler Myers.
Pietrangelo. Those guys all went in the top 5. And so I don't know if we'll see 4 defensemen of the top 5 this time around in the 2012 National Hockey League draft, but you're going to see 6 or 7 of them in the top 12, I think.
And I think these guys are a little bit different. Maybe not as big as that group, but definitely great skaters.
All right, now we'll get to the play of the period, which is brought to you by Kodiak. Designed, engineered, and built for over 100 years. Sam?
Scoring chances, creativity has been tough to come by, so we've talked about the physical play. How about that hit by Tom Wilson on Lucas Sutter? That really got things started. Dalton Thrower, aptly named, gets into it with Wilson of the Plymouth Whalers, and maybe that will spark things here going into period 3.
I thought our cameraman was going to get right in the middle of that one.
Well, that guy may have been the first star of that entire period. How about that? You don't see that in the National Hockey League, folks. The cameraman jumping over the boards, not getting involved in the action, but the camera on the ice. Unbelievable. Only right here on Sportsnet, CHL action. Griffin Reinhardt's lone goal, standing up, 1-0 after 40 minutes. There's the goal scorer. Retape it. There's good luck still in that stick. We're back with Dan Marr, Director of NHL Central Scouting.
Your work never really stops. The jobs may change with the seasons, but the need for power, performance, and affordability doesn't. Right now, it's the perfect time to get a great price on durable, quality Kubota equipment. Upgrade your landscaping, construction, or farming equipment and attachments, and get what you need for the months ahead. Because work never stops, and neither does Kubota. See your local Kubota dealer today.
The scoring summary brought to you by Old Dutch, the official chip of the CHL first period. Lots of hits, lots of saves, no scoring, but Griffin Reinhardt said enough of this. And a nice little pass by Colton Sissons of the Kelowna Rockets, and an even better screen by Brandon Truk of the Seattle Thunderbirds. 1-0, that's where we sit. Timor over Team Cherry alongside Damian Cox, and the director of NHL Central Scouting, Dan Marr, joins us now. The premium has been so far in the first 40 minutes, Dan, on physicality. With that reality, who's impressed you the most?
Well, right off the bat, Tom Wilson tried to set the pace of the play, throw in a couple of body checks, did it again, and then Lucas Sutter is a physical player in his own right, but his teammate Dalton Crowe decided to stick up for him there, and they ended up with a little tussle.
And it seems to me, there is an understanding from these players coming in. This is not a mimicking of the NHL All-Star Game. You're looking for them to play their game, their physical game, almost as though it were a playoff game out there.
Well, I'm quite impressed with the intensity that they're displaying here. They're out there like they're playing to win, and that's what we want to see in them. And we shouldn't be surprised that it's a 1-0 game, because this is a draft that's deep in defensemen. 11 of our top 18 are defensemen, so the fact that there's not a lot of scoring shouldn't surprise anyone.
And we did already talk with Sam Cosentino about the Fab Five. Damien, curious about the nature of this event. This is one game, Dan. How much can a player significantly alter his draft stock in one game?
Well, in one game, nobody's really going to hurt themselves at this event. The fact that they've been nominated to be here is a tribute to the players. They have an opportunity, though, to maybe show a little bit more than what they can with their club team. Sometimes they're the youngest player in the team. They don't get the same amount of ice time, the same situations or opportunity. So here they've got a little bit more liberty to try some of the things that they're known for.
Now, you've worked for a couple of NHL teams, Toronto, Atlanta. This is a different role for you doing this. It's like you don't have a dog in the fight anymore in quite the same way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different dynamic. The Central Scouting doesn't draft the players. We rank them based on our criteria, but we serve as a resource to the teams, and that's something that I'm really trying to work at.
Well, listen, Dan, you're doing a fantastic job taking over from the late E.J. McGuire. I know somewhere he's smiling at the job you're doing. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Dan Mars, the director of NHL's Central Scouting. Here at the Top Prospects Game, it's 1-0 thanks to Griffin Reinhart of the Edmonton Oil Kings. Welcome back to Kelowna, home of the 2012 Home Hardware NHL CHL Top Prospects Game. Griffin Reinhart's goal, standing tall. He's standing by with our Rob Falls.
And I'm with the only goal scorer in this game so far, Griffin Reinhart of the Edmonton Oil King. Did you expect it to be this tight?
Yeah, I mean, both teams are trying to show everybody what they got out here, so I was expecting a pretty tight scoring game, and fortunately we were able to get one through there and get a good sight line in the net, and we're up 1-0.
Tell me about the instructions you got in that second intermission that you're going to bring out to the ice here in the third.
Just keep our feet moving and keep making the simple plays and just advance it out of our zone and get in the forecheck and try to get pucks in net.
You having fun playing in a game like this?
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Griffin Reinhart, the only goal so far for Timor.
Well, it is 1-0 for Timor, and you can get involved. Log on to sportsnet.ca, and columnist Patrick King is there. He's having a live chat. You can also follow Patrick on Twitter at SNPatrickKing, but join in and converse with Patrick King on sportsnet.ca. Have a little chat about this game.
He does a great job, Kinger. He's all over the place. Very well connected. Good to see him online tonight. Wish you were here, Patty. It's a good one.
He does do a great job on sportsnet.ca. Be sure to catch all his stuff. He stays right on top of the CHL. Well, here we are, 1-0, start of the third period. So not much scoring. Goaltenders have been solid, but we've talked about the year of the defenseman, and defensively these teams have been rock solid. Brendan Truk, his shot, and there's a defensive play by Brett Kulak, getting his stick in the lane that goes up over the glass.
With Truk really enjoying himself here in this event, and you had Griffin Reinhart, the lone goal scorer, his dad Paul into town today. Well, been a lot of hockey viewing for him over the last couple of years, as he's been able to watch Kootenay right into the MasterCard Memorial Cup last year with brothers Sam and Max.
Derek Pouliot, he'll have to hurry. Danil Zharkov with the Belleville Bulls chasing after it. Reinhart goes into the corner, rolls it back to Pouliot. His pass ahead to Beauvillier. Tried to find Truk. It was knocked away by Severson, but Beauvillier gets it back to Truk. Doesn't shoot. That one's off the skate of Kulak, and Gauntz comes up with it. Brendan Gauntz, his lead pass. He spots Zharkov there. A couple of Belleville Bull teammates take a bump from Pellet. And it's Stevenson of the Regina Pats who gets the puck to the Cherry line, but no further when Ryan Murray, the captain of Team Cherry, fires it right back in. Kane Fox tried to kick it off the boards. Ozon gives it to Jamel Smith. Shot from Dumba, a high one. And it's stopped by Francois Tremblay.
Tremblay is the most tenured of the 4 goalies in this event. He is the starter and plays a ton, over 2,200 minutes. When you look at the other 3 goaltenders, they play in split or backup situations, but not Tremblay. He's the main guy. And there's Drieger in the situation, playing with a Calgary hitman, sharing time with Brandon Glover. And those guys have been dynamite for Mike Williamson's hitman lately.
Drieger was good for Timor, too. Stopped all 15 shots he faced. Kamel Smith moves it ahead to Dane Fox. Fox takes a shot, and that one missed. That sends Matt Dumba all the way back into his own zone. The fresh ice, the puck sliding. Now Dumba picks up a little speed. Will we see a rush from the Red Deer Rebels defenseman? He found Bozon, but he was bumped off the puck immediately by Derek Pouliot.
Yeah, nice step up by Pouliot, and his game just continues to rock and roll here tonight.
Kirkarudo behind his own goal. Fox closed in on him quickly and took the puck. Dylan Fournier. The Rouyn-Noranda Huskies puts it behind the net to Bozon, and Kirkarudo barrels his way in to get that puck. Bozon steals it, walks in front. That's off the shin pad of Pouliot, and then he gets it to the line, but not out. Kamel Smith. Dane Fox. Fox has Bozon. Bozon can't come up with it against Faxa. Faxa passes it to himself and then to Kosmachuk. Dylan Fournier had it knocked off his stick by Kosmachuk, who's in there on the forecheck. Radek Faxa, before he gets to the puck, took a look around. Fournier tried to intercept, couldn't do it. Kosmachuk moved it to Boussier. Boussier right back down low to Faxa. Kosmachuk of the Guelph Storm. So Radek Faxa of the Kitchener Rangers. Boussier was in front. He has it now, circling off the boards. Boussier has a couple of Team Cherry members watching him. Rolls it around. Matt Finn will pinch in from the point. There's Faxa. His line mates have gone off on a change. He's able to hold it in the corner long enough so they can get back into the play.
That's a great shift for that line.
But maybe trouble here. Kamel Smith coming on a 2-on-1 with Martin Firk, and Smith's pass just jumped over Firk's stick. Griffin Reinhardt along the boards. He's bumping with Coda Gordon. Gordon digging it loose. Firk has it knocked away from him. Gordon back on it. Ryan Murray, that low shot steered up over the glass by Tremblay.
Well, Radek Faxa of the Kitchener Rangers, an interesting character. And we've talked a little bit about him. I know Damien and Jeff talked about him off the top of the broadcast, but here's a guy who at 11 years old left home to go to a hockey school. And he said he was scared. He cried every day, stuck with it. Great support from his family. He's got a brother who used to play and now is taking a life here in North America. Big fan of the blue Gatorade and Tim Hortons Boston Cream Donuts.
Boy, he's been good for Kitchener. Leads all rookies in goals, assists, and points in the OHL. Coda Gordon, Cochrane, Alberta, plays with Swift Current. Dump that puck in. He'll let off on a change. In fact, all of Team Cherry, except for one, was off on a change. That's why the puck's now in their zone. Beauvillier. And a check by Fournier. They were teammates with Lewiston before that franchise folded in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League.
And they will add Sherbrooke to the fold next year to get back to 18 teams at QMJHL.
Kirkarudo will have to be careful. Scott Lawton's right on him. Dane Fox. Grigorenko tried to take it from Fox. Fox pins up against the boards and almost was able to keep that puck. Dalton Thrower fresh off that fight with Tom Wilson got a shot on goal, and Matt Murray stopped him. Fox, Severson, his shot, that's blocked aside by Tremblay. Wolick going to the front of the net. And now Thomas Heika moves it to Mikhail Grigorenko. What's in the trick bag for Grigorenko? That shot, that was wide. Derek Pouliot all the way back into his own zone. Team Cherry, a slow change. That gives Griffin Reinhardt, the defenseman, a chance to jump up into the play, but he was offside.
Well, Dalton Thrower with an opportunity. We've seen him in a fight already, and here gets a good shot on goal. You know, Dalton Thrower is an interesting story in his own right, playing for Lauren Mullick and Saskatoon Blades. For Thrower,
had to watch his mother fight through cancer, his mother Melanie, and then last year his father Murray also had to fight through cancer. And how tough would it be as a 16, 17-year-old kid playing in Saskatoon, miles and miles away from British Columbia, to watch your father go through that? Melanie and Murray have done a great job raising a fine young man. A penalty on the play.
Squamish, BC home for Dalton Thrower, and Timor gets its first opportunity with the man advantage. Griffin Reinhart, the goal scorer, moves it to Derek Pouliot. Pouliot, his pass was knocked down, but he got it back. Now Reinhart will lead the rush. A little bit of speed going wide on Matt Dumba, using that 6'4" frame and reach. Threw it in front of the net. Pouliot bouncing puck, trying to keep it in, and Timor will be able to do that. Radek Faksa has Boussier with him. Raphael Boussier along the boards. Reinhart threw it in front. Kuzmachuk, a quick shot. Stop! Oh, another big save by Matt Murray.
Boussier absolutely robbed. This line has really come out to play here in the third period rather, for Team Orr. Kuzmachuk, Boussier, and Faksa. All kinds of difficulty for Murray. Makes a good pad save and then has to respond on the rebound. What a glove stop. Boussier would love to have that one back. He didn't get quite enough on it because the puck was on end, but nonetheless, great save by Sault Ste. Marie's Matt Murray.
Good chance on the power play. Timor wins the face-off. Tanner Pearson, he knows how to find the back of the net. That one stopped by Murray too, though. Tanner Pearson back on it. Moves it to Dalton Thrower. Quickly over to Matt Finn. Thrower now. Finn, his cross-ice pass to Pearson. Moved it down low to Athanasiou. He's knocked down. Lucas Sutter in there digging for a puck. Pearson back to Finn. His shot. That's wide of the net. Sutter hustles after it. Severson staying close to him. A lot of pressure here for Timor on this power play with 35 seconds to go with a man advantage. Already up 1-0. Athanasiou back to Thrower. They play catch. Athanasiou has it back. Pearson walks in front. A high shot. Murray might have got a piece of that. Sutter along the boards. You know he'll win a lot of those board battles. Dalton Thrower right back to Finn. It goes under his stick, and now a chance for Andrew Ryan. Breaking away. The Halifax moves heads. Ryan made a move and missed the net. Seconds tick down. Dane Fox standing up. Now he's back on the ice. So Team Cherry kills off that penalty as Tanner Pearson brought it in over the line, but Fox quickly the other way to Bozak. Got the return feed. Dane Fox. Been great for Erie since being traded from London.
He used to play with the Ruperts and now plays on the line with Sondre Olden, the Toronto Maple Leafs pick, and Connor Brown.
Pouliot jumping into the play. Used Kulak as a screen, but couldn't fool Matt Murray, who's had to make some saves of high difficulty. Dane Fox. Can't get far with it. Francis Beauvillier moves it to Pouliot. Now Brandon Kruk of the Seattle Thunderbirds had to go off the stick. Fox walks in, and that's a blocker save by Tremblay. Reinhart, a big hit in the corner on Tom Wilson. Short side chance is Dane Fox. He's been all over the offensive zone, and this one stopped by Tremblay as well. And Tom Wilson's out there having some words with Griffin Reinhart. Wilson's already had one scrap and plenty of hits so far in this game. A great chance for Team Cherry shorthanded, but it's still Timor up 1-0.
Always a pleasure to chat with the Commissioner of the Western Hockey League, Ron Robinson, and you're showing us some terrific Western hospitality here for this event.
Well, Kelowna's been such a great franchise for us for many years, and Bruce Hamilton, this organization deserved this opportunity, and obviously the fans who've supported this franchise so well over the years.
Great storylines in the Western Hockey League. Victoria is doing very well. You've got Kamloops doing well, and Edmonton, Griffin Reinhart's team, is starting to charge up the standing.
Great races in both the Eastern and Western conferences. It's going to go right down to the wire, and really happy to see the Kamloops Blazers again resurgence for that franchise, and of course the Edmonton Oil Kings, which is just in the 4th year of existence in our league, first in the Eastern Conference. So it should be real fun down the stretch here.
Ron, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Rob.
And we are looking forward to going to Saskatoon for the 2013 MasterCard Memorial Cup.
How about the Edmonton Oil Kings? Derek Laxdal's team, they have a back end with first rounder Mark Pizik and Keegan Lowe, Martin Gernat, Edmonton Oilers prospect. Maybe the deepest group of 7 that I've seen in a long time. They're playing really well. Laurent Brossoit backstopping them.
Yeah, they're a solid team. They sit number 7 in the CHL top 10, so they're one of the teams to keep an eye on for sure. Mike Winther. Trochu, Alberta, a nice move. Tremblay stopped that, the rebound, they score! Dylan Fournier was a late ad, picks up that loose puck and scores for Team Cherry.
He has been so assertive in this game. He plays for Andre Tournier and the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies, and he has really taken this opportunity, grabbed hold of it, and taken advantage of it. But a great move by Winther to get around his man. The shot on goal produces the rebound, and you have to love the read by Dylan Fournier. Look at him trailing the play. He knows his team has possession. He follows up the play, picks up the rebound, and bangs it home. Smart play by Dylan Fournier. And now we're tied at 1.
Dylan Fournier, there's a guy taking advantage of an opportunity. He's in the Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game, and the defenseman getting it done. Griffin Reinhart scoring for Team Orr, and now Fournier for Team Cherry. Defensemen doing pretty well in their own zone too. Winther. He orchestrated that first goal. Looking for a little more, but it's Radek Faksa coming the other way. Has Kosmachuk with some speed. That puck just a little too far for him, but there's no icing. Roussier in there. He circles through it in front. Pouliot comes up with it. Doesn't shoot right away. Moves it over to Reinhart. Reinhart walks in. That loose puck. Faksa's shot stopped by Murray. Murray has been great since coming in for Team Cherry.
Really calm back there. A lot of poise and put in a tough situation with 2 tough saves as soon as he came in midway through the second.
Dane Fox has had a strong third period for Team Cherry. The Erie Otter pokes at it, but it's Raphael Boussier going the other way. Bumps along the boards. Matt Dumba throwing a hit. Ryan Murray smoothly behind his own goal. Slides one up to Scott Lawton, the Oshawa Generals. Lawton, he's poke checked as he came in over the line. Well, Dane Fox trying a few things. That one won't get him very far. A glove pass charged to Team Cherry. The save of the game brought to you by Aaron's Lucky Dog. More features, lower prices, better products. Nobody beats Aaron's. Nobody.
Matt Murray on Raphael Boussier of the Bacomo Drakkar. An amazing glove save by Murray. That helped spurn Team Cherry on. A short time later, Dylan Fournier able to tie it up. So that save, very key in this game.
1-1. Lucas Sutter breaking in. Has Tanner Pearson going to the front of the net, and there's Murray again with a point-blank save. Kirkarudo, he goes right back behind his own goal. Scott Lawton watched him all the way. Pearson, who just had that great chance, leaves it for Lucas Sutter. Sutter comes in over the line, drops it off for Pearson. Another chance. Didn't get much on it. Murray looked behind him, but he had it the whole time. Matt Murray of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds has come in, and he has been fantastic for Team Cherry. And now his team has tied this one up.
Jim Gregory is a senior VP of hockey operations with the NHL, and he has seen his share of arenas over the years, and they have named the player of the game here at the Top Prospects the Jim Gregory Award, and I know that you were very touched when they made that announcement last night.
Well, I was really surprised, Rob. I, of course, didn't feel I deserved it, but I really appreciate. I've tried to pay back the people in junior hockey because everything I have in my financial and business career I owe to the Ontario Hockey Association and the Canadian Junior Hockey League. When I went in it was just unbelievable.
Jim, it's always great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks, Rob. It's a pleasure, and this has been just fantastic.
Jim Gregory, one of the good ones.
No kidding. He is a nice guy and very humble. He certainly does deserve that honor of the MVPs for both clubs having his name on that award. Colton Sissons, wouldn't the crowd go nuts if he could put one in? The captain of the Kelowna Rockets can't do much on that chance. Zarkov, he's checked from behind by Brandon Krupp. We've seen a lot of back checking in this game. Zarkov, sharp angle, he can't hit the net. Pellick rolls it ahead to Sissons. He'll dump it in, go in and chase it against his Kelowna Rocket teammate, Damon Severson.
Seen that once or twice in practice, I'm sure.
Severson will have to go back behind his net. Sissons right there, and he throws a check. Finished his check at his teammate. Brandon Truth. He can't get far. And now here's Dylan Fournier, the goal scorer for Team Cherry. Lead pass, that's on the tape of Wilson. Jarkov bumps with Pouliot. Pass was made to Chandler Stevenson. Thomas Heike of Gatineau. He's speeding in. Throw it in front of the net. Griffin Reinhart was there again looking for his second of the game.
Reinhart's jumped up on quite a few occasions.
Trying to show that offensive side to his game. Now he's got to hurry back into his end. That short side chance stopped by Tremblay.
Saw Damon Severson out there for Team Cherry playing for the Kelowna Rockets. And how about this defensive machine here in Kelowna? Look at the guys who have come through here that played defense. Hannon, Duncan, Keith, Shea Weber, a couple of Olympians there. Alex Edler, Luke Shen, Myers, Barry, and Severson hopes to join that esteemed group.
Defenseman factory here in Kelowna. Gianluca Turcaruto along the boards. Heike. He's checked by Kulak. Heike trying to move, only getting a few inches. Heike checking along the boards. Jamel Smith trying to cut in front. He lost it. Chandler Stevenson just onside. Grigorenko stretching out. Now Grigorenko a chance, and maybe Kulak saved a goal. Another opportunity, and Kosmachuk fired it over the net. Stevenson moves it to Finn. That low shot doesn't get to the goal. Bozon, he's bumped by Stevenson. Has to go back into his own end. Lead pass by Murray. Tim Bozon. Little move at center. Good enough to get him some time to get the puck into the Orr zone. Winther, we've seen him be dangerous in the offensive zone.
Much better, much more comfortable here in the third period.
Winther dumps it deep. Perk, he's got some space in the corner. Perk gets away from Finn for the moment. In front, Winther can't get a stick on it. Fournier is shot, he fanned. Kosmachuk has Faxa going to the front of the net, and Kosmachuk lost the handle and couldn't get it out of his skates.
Calm play by Fournier, kept a nice tight gap, and so as soon as that puck got into the skates, he was able to pick it free.
Gauntz all alone in there for Team Cherry. Waits for the reinforcements to come. Dane Fox back to Gauntz, goes to the front of the net, the return feed. Gets to the line. Fournier keeps that puck deep. Gauntz has it taken away by Faxa. Moves it to Boussiere. It stays along the dasher board, but does get out. Faxa trying to pick up a little speed. Come into the Cherry zone, and he's rocked by Matt Dumba. Dumba said he was going to lay a big hit, and he did. And we're going to have a little something here as Boussiere comes in to take on Dumba. Dumba knocks him down immediately with a right hand, and Boussiere trying to get that right hand loose. Raphael Boussiere now throwing all kinds of rights, and the linesmen get in to break it up.
Big hit by Dumba, and I think one of the things that I'd like to see change, that when a big clean hit is made, I don't understand why a fight has to occur right after. And Boussiere took exception to the hit by Dumba, dropped the gloves, they went at it from there. Faxa got caught with his head down, Dumba let him know it, and Boussiere came to the defense of his teammate right away. Good on Boussiere.
Well, in this case, this is maybe an aspect of Raphael Boussiere's game that he wanted to show, knowing there's a lot of the scouts there, sticking up for teammates and handled himself very well.
Yeah, and Dumba had no issues with it whatsoever.
Second fight of the 2012 Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game. Dalton Thrower and Tom Wilson.
On one hand, you want to see guys stick up for one another, but on the other hand, if it's a good clean hit, I have trouble understanding why there has to be a fight so many times after a good clean hit.
6 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the third period. It's tied at 1. Defenseman, the story of this draft. defensemen have scored the goals, and they've been good in their own zone too. Athanasiou. He can't do much with it. Scott Lawton gets it up to Dane Fox. Fox seeing a lot of ice time in this third period. Fox moves it down to Lawton. Severson's shot, that gets to Francois Tremblay of Val-d'Or, and Tremblay stops him. Time winding down. We're still tied. We know in baseball you can call your shot. Well, it happens in hockey too. Is Matt Dumba sitting in the penalty box after a scrap against Raphael Boussiere, but that was spurred from this big hit on Radek Faksa. And we asked Dumba before the game if he'd take advantage of an opportunity if a big hit was there.
Yeah, I'm taking it. Yeah, I think so for sure. Just watching the game through the past years, there's fights and big hits, and everyone wants to compete and everyone wants a battle. So I'm looking forward to a feisty night tonight by everyone.
Well, he's getting the opportunity to learn his craft from a pretty good one at Jesse Wallen, the head coach of the Red Deer Rebels. He was known to do that on occasion.
5 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the third period, and some would think this is an all-star game, but it is a different format, and it's 1-1, which is a little bit interesting. It's a different format because these players are all trying to up their stock in the upcoming draft, so there's no fooling around out there. Lucas Sutter, will he break the tie? He cuts in through it in front of the net. Net goes off.
Murray stopping everything. I mean, even players from going in there. He's been that good. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds netminder put into an interesting situation. Was the starter for Sault Ste. Marie at the start of the year, and then a big trade when they acquired Jack Campbell from the Windsor Spitfires. And Murray has accepted the fact that he knew he wasn't going to play as much with Campbell aboard, but has really accepted and bought into the fact that he can take from a guy like Jack Campbell with all of his international experience and all of his accolades and learn from him, and it's been a nice partnership in the suit.
Team Cherry might want to thank Matt Murray that this game's tied. Some big saves, especially here in this third period.
Yeah, goals have been tough to come by. Just 2 in this game, and we haven't had a low-scoring affair like that since 1998 when the two teams combined for 6 goals.
We're far off 6 goals here. Might get 3. Brandon Troop, the Seattle Thunderbird, moved it ahead. Colton Sissons comes flying in. He threw it in front of the net. There was nobody there. Troop rolls it back deep to the captain of Timor, Colton Sissons. Big hit along the boards from Beauvillier as he hits Scott Lawton. Sissons rolls it in deep. He's watched again by his Kelowna Rocket teammate Severson, and Severson took care of the job. Troop bumps with Lawton. Lawton's been bumped a couple of times, and he's a guy who can take care of himself out there.
Yeah, he's ticked off. You can tell after those 2 hits he was looking for a little something, but he didn't find it. He's going off the ice now.
Thomas Heika, a little bit of room in his own zone. His pass into the skates of Chandler Stevenson. That didn't affect him. He picked it up in full stride. Adam Pellet of the Erie Otters tries to move it in deep. Ryan spins just inside his own line. Heika took it from him. The shot from Stevenson, a rolling puck, and that was nowhere near the mark. Grigorenko, he's been pretty quiet. Is this the time when Mikhail Grigorenko steps up?
He hasn't played a ton, but he has been effective when he's been up there. How about that one-handed sauce?
Thrower's shot was off a shin pad. Thrower gets it again. Stevenson tried to get it to Heika. It comes back to the point. Thrower doesn't shoot. Gives it to Heika. Over to Kurkarudo. We know he's got an accurate shot. He won the accuracy shooting. Didn't shoot though. Moved it back to Stevenson. Heika to Kurkarudo. That one's off a skate, and now finally Team Cherry gets it out. Dalton Thrower has made his mark in this game. Had a scrap with Tom Wilson. Ryan Murray. The Brendan Gaunce, taken from him by Scott Kosmachuk. Derek Pouliot Bounce pass, Kosmachuk, one touch to Faksa. Radek Faksa. He comes in, Kulak knocks him off the puck. Truk, hold it behind the net. He'll go after it. Bumps with Ferk in the corner. That one's deflected up into the Team Cherry bench.
Jamel Smith, what a rise to prominence for the Owen Sound attack star. You watched him last year and come up through the minor hockey system, and middling round pick for Dale DeGray in the Owen Sound attack. And boy, I just love his game. I love the fact that he handles the puck well in tight spaces. He's got good speed. He's growing up with a very up-and-coming Owen Sound attack team, which is tough to do when you go to the MasterCard Memorial Cup, to think that you might immediately be in a rebuild. Owen Sound has done well this season.
Athanasiou gets it into Sutter in front of the net. Oh, another big save by Murray. He robs Tanner Pearson again. That's 3 times in this third period he stopped Pearson.
He's had enough, Pearson.
Athanasiou, stick handling, uses his speed to get to that puck. Sutter, he's knocked down, and there will be a penalty coming up to Team Cherry late in this third period. Pouliot with the puck. Tremblay's gone to the bench, so the extra attacker's on. Athanasiou, he walks into the slot. Low pass. Sutter directed it on goal. Murray stopped that. Sutter trying it again, trying to stuff it in on the blocker side. Pearson, his pass to Pouliot. Have to be careful there with that net empty.
We've seen that once this year in the NHL.
Bozon going back. Pouliot keeps it alive. We're down to 2 minutes to go in this third period. There's a delayed penalty coming up to Team Cherry, but they haven't been able to touch the puck. Pouliot setting things up for Team Orr. Over to Pearson. He dumps it deep. This should be an opportunity for Team Cherry to get it. And the whistle goes. The penalty's coming. And a power play with 1:45 to go for Team Orr.
And Matt Murray will have to be very good again in goal. But he was excellent in stopping Pearson. Sutter sets him up right in front of the net. Murray reads it, reacts to it, and makes a fantastic right pad save on Tanner Pearson. And a slash in the corner has Team Cherry down. Matt Dumba still in the box, and now his defense partner Murray joining him in the box for a slash.
Well, those are 2 pretty important guys to be in the penalty box for Team Cherry. Off the face-off, they win it, but that one went over the glass.
Murray's an interesting character in that he plays defense here, and you go back to last March, and according to our friends at McKean's Hockey, he has taken just one hooking or holding penalty. And you think about that for a defenseman, what does that say to me? Great positioning. That's why the highest rated defenseman in the upcoming National Hockey League draft.
And pretty good skating ability, and we know he's got that. In the next testing, he was the fastest forward skater and fastest backward skater, so he cleaned up in both categories.
Is the whole package, this guy. Great leadership skills, good guy off the ice.
Chance for Team Orr to win this. They're on the power play. 1.5 to go in the third period. We're tied at 1. Finn moves it over to Dalton Thrower. Back to Matt Finn. That shot picked up by Faksa. Finn over to Thrower. Grigorenko has it bounce over his stick. Faksa's in there. He's pinned up against the boards by Kulak. Grigorenko right back to Dalton Thrower of the Saskatoon Blades. Thrower to Grigorenko of the Quebec Rampart. Grigorenko lost it for a moment, used that reach, and now Heika has it. Heika to Faksa. Thrower over to Finn. Last minute of this third period. Will there be any shots from Team Orr? Finn threw one into the corner. Grigorenko chases after it. He's on a couple of bad ankles. Takes a hard hit. Kept the puck alive, though. Dalton Thrower over to Finn. There's a shot. Stopped by Murray. Kulak on the rebound. He rifles it around the boards and gets it down the ice.
I like the job that Murray's done working with goalie coach Seamus Kotick with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, really trying to teach him to stay compact, and he's been that way tonight.
Brendan Truk, he's got some speed. He cuts in front of the net, and Truk, what a beautiful goal! Brendan Truk puts Team Orr up 2-1 late in the third.
I know, RJ, you're so impressed about his story off ice with the neck injury, missing all of last year. But this guy has really made an impression on me over the last 3 days. You like his skating ability, handles the puck at high speeds. And guess who gets things started? Pouliot. Beautiful pass. And then from there, it ends up on the stick of Truk, who makes a nice cut. Able to angle those blades to keep his balance, goes to the backhand and beats Murray, which has been nearly impossible this game.
Well, what a great young man, fun guy to talk to. And after not playing hockey for a year, he couldn't even go to school for a year. Wow. The headaches were so bad, they thought it was a concussion, but it was an occipital nerve, and massage and acupuncture took care of it, and he is back playing, and we're getting a glimpse of a guy who missed a year of hockey, but is still one of the elite players in his draft class.
And scouts, you know, they like the fact that he hasn't played a ton of hockey, so there's that much more learning, there's that much more experience for him to gain.
Team Cherry has pulled Matt Murray, so they've got the extra attacker out there trying to even the score. 10 seconds to go. Truk along the boards, and there's a good play by Brandon Truk once again to get it down to the Team Cherry zone, and that forces Matt Dumba behind his goal, and time is running out, and the buzzer will go. And Timor with a late goal from Brandon Truk, able to get the victory.
A very well played game, the lowest scoring in the history of the Home Hardware NHL CHL Top Prospects Game.
Well, a late power play. Brandon Truk, we talked about the year of the defenseman, and defensemen scored a couple of goals in this game, but maybe that's one of the reasons there were only 3 combined goals. The defensemen were pretty good in their end too.
Yeah, and I thought the goalies were fantastic. I mean, all game long, the only goal, maybe the goal on Whitney's short side early on, but I think he was screened and couldn't see it. But very well played game by the back end and by both goaltenders, all 4 goaltenders rather.
Here's the game review brought to you by Toyo Tires, driven to perform.
Tom Wilson of the Plymouth Whalers, he was willing all night with 5 hits and a fighting major. Reinhart and Fournier score goals in a 2-1 final. And the 3 goals tonight, the fewest ever in the 17-year history of this event.
3 combined goals. Timor gets the 2-1 victory, and the crowd like this. Colton Sissons might be heavier than he thought. The captain of the Kelowna Rockets, captain of Timor, and he brings the Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects trophy over to his Timor teammates, and they have a little celebration as Team Cherry has to head off the ice with a late loss thanks to that Brandon Truk goal to give Timor the win. The play of the game is brought to you by Bauer Hockey, and it might be something along the lines what I was just talking about.
Yeah, the Seattle Thunderbirds. That's where we go to find this play of the game. It's Brandon Truk. Good 3-way passing play. Truk is able to take it, work on the back edge of the blade, cut it back towards the middle of the ice, and on the backhand he goes here with less than 30 seconds remaining. That's our game winner.
Brandon Truk sitting 90th among North American skaters. He might have helped his cause a little bit in this game. Solid game for Brandon Truk, and he should be smiling with the game winner. Brandon Truk, Timor victorious in the 2012 edition of the Home Hardware CHL NHL Top Prospects Game. Let's go back to Jeff Merrick and Damian Cox. Jeff.
RJ, thanks very much. The pride of the Seattle Thunderbirds, Brandon Truk, makes it 2-1. As we've been talking about so much for the past few minutes, Damien, the lowest scoring game, the Top Prospects Game, in the 17-year history of this event. Should we be surprised considering how much high-end defensive talent there is in the draft this year?
Well, yes and no. I mean, obviously all these guys are talented guys, but I was looking it up. Back in 2008, the Top Prospects Game, when we had Drew Doughty, Tyler Myers, Luke Shen, Zach Bogosian, Alex Pietrangelo, Colton Tubert, Michael Del Zotto, Lucas Spezia. You know how many goals were scored that night?
How many?
12.
Look out.
So I don't think it was the D, but it was a very well-played game.
It certainly was, and one of the reasons why this was the lowest scoring game in history of this event is standing by with Rob Faulds right now.
Matthew Murray was named the player of the game for Team Cherry, and you said it was a tough way to lose.
Yeah, it was. I mean, our team played so well. We came back there in the 3rd period, down from a 1-goal lead, and to let one in with 30 whatever seconds was like that, it's a tough way to lose for sure.
And you come in the middle of the 2nd period, come in cold. We saw you trying to get stretched out, and you faced an awful lot of shots.
Right. Well, yeah, it's always tough going in cold, especially. Yeah, they wouldn't even let me stretch over there. They kicked me out, so that didn't help either. But you know what? I was kind of thankful I got a lot of shots early. That kind of got me into it, and after that, I just played as hard as I could the rest of the way, and I think I did pretty well.
Now, what does a game like this and playing as well as you did do for your confidence?
I mean, it feels good, but really it was a lot of fun playing this game. It obviously gets my confidence up a little bit. I felt I played fairly well. Again, though, a tough way to lose, but we'll move on from it and keep trucking.
Congratulations on the player of the game. As you said, tough way to lose, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Player of the game for Team Cherry, goaltender from the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, Matthew Murray.
He's got a tough gig this year as well, playing behind Jack Campbell and Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. So he doesn't get the amount of starts that other goaltenders would, but he made good with this start tonight, even though in a losing cause. I'll tell you, Matt Murray was one of the game stories this evening, Damien.
And isn't that what this game can be about? And that's giving guys an opportunity who may not play a lot at home because either their team's too good or they're behind somebody to get a chance and show the scouts here what they can do, and he was very good.
Murray was fantastic. That's the shady side of the mountain. The sunny side of the mountain of the pride of the Seattle Thunderbirds is standing by with Rob Faulds. Rob.
Brandon Truk with the game-winning goal, a power play goal late in it. RJ Broadhead, Sam Cousins, we're talking about it throughout the game. This has been a remarkable comeback year for you, and to be a part of this event has to be special.
Yeah, this is huge. It was such an honor to be named to this team, and I just wanted to enjoy the experience and learn from Pat Quinn, and just get to play with all these really skilled guys was just a great satisfaction.
Tell me what you learned from a guy like Pat Quinn, who spent so many years behind the bench.
You just learn to keep it simple, not try to do too much. Like, there's a lot of scouts here, and you don't want to let the pressure get to you. So I just tried to keep it simple and do the little things right, and it paid off in the end.
You guys had some goal scorers there, but some awfully good D. It was tough to find any room.
Yeah, there's a lot of good defense in here. When you're going up against Dumba and Murray as a D partners, those are two very highly ranked D-men and very skilled D-men. So you got to keep your head up out there.
After missing the year the way you did and getting right back into action now, what has it meant to you? What have you learned about yourself over this past, let's say, 2 years?
The number one thing I can say is don't take any time on the ice for granted, because you never know when it can get taken away from you. Like, 1 second I was on the ice, and the 1 second I don't remember anything. So that's probably the number one thing that I learned. I love the game so much, and missing all last year just killed me. So.
You have something special to remember now. You got the winning goal here in the Top Prospects. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'll take that with me for sure.
Brandon Truk, he got the game winner as Timor defeats Team Cherry 2-1.
And I'll tell you what, Damien, that's the biggest smile in Kelowna right now on Brandon Truk. All right, time for the insurance goal of the game, brought to you by your local insurance broker. To score your insurance goal, your best insurance is an insurance broker. More on the Seattle Thunderbird, Damien.
Yeah, and it's a little too bad. It was the hometown boy, Damon Severson of the Kelowna Rockets, who gets, Truk goes around here and then really cuts in hard to the net and scores that goal. Nice goal for him. Nice goal for us, maybe. It was a winning goal, because we've talked about the shootout a lot. Would we have wanted this one decided in a shootout? I don't know. Maybe folks at home would have liked to have seen one.
Did you not see enough shootout attempts last night at the top prospect skills competition?
And maybe we would have seen young Bozon again with the stick up. I don't think so.
So RJ and Sam would have had gone down to the ice and judge it. I think it would have been different. Hey, you spoke to Matthew Dumba this morning, and he said it and he did it, Damien.
Yeah, he sure did. I said to him, are you going to, if the big hit's there, are you going to take it? Because in all-star games, sometimes guys don't. He said, you betcha I'm going to take it. And boy, did he lay out Radek Faksa. It was like he watched our pregame show and saw us highlighting young Faksa and said, that'll be the guy I hit. They'll notice me for that. And I bet you a lot of scouts did notice him for that.
Quick thought on Mikhail Grigorenko.
I think he was very quiet tonight. He's got the bad ankles, hasn't been playing the way he wants to. There were a couple of opportunities he had. It's there, but I think you've touched on this before. In a game filled with this many good defensemen, tough for any of these top forwards to shine.
Another wonderful night of CHL action. The Top Prospects CHL NHL game has come and gone. Brought to you by Home Hardware. Thanks so much for joining us, and a big thanks as well, we should point out, to the lovely CHL city of Kelowna, home of the Rockets and home of the CHL NHL Top Prospects game. We take you now to Connected.